How did we go from bathtub to battleground?
Gemini on Android, bro. Anything can happen.
Press to create videos.
Only on Android.
TVS Raider, the wicked ride.
Real MVPs are not born. They practice every day. For OP moves on the field and in life.
Duolingo English Test. Proud supporters of dreamers and doers.
R is for RAM on roids. A 12GB ramped up, run on all engines, upgraded in a world resigned to 8 gig. Ridiculously ripped. Raise the stakes with a ruthless dozen. Ready to raid. Write faster, roll smoother. Reach higher with a refuse to die battery. Every app, every activity. Rep, 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 rep. If it's in your radius, R keeps it on rotation. OnePlus 13R. R is ours.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Bro, we're about to drop.
Just a second. I need to finish this video.
Ask Gemini on Android, it will give highlights.
Press for key highlights.
Only on Android.
BGMI का यूनिवर्सल MVP वापस आएगा एक ब्लॉकबस्टर कमबैक के साथ। कुछ प्लेयर्स का जमाना होता है और कुछ के बनते हैं साम्राज्य। BGMS के मंच पे ओरंगुटान की पिक्चर अभी बाकी है मेरे दोस्त। Esports का ब्लॉकबस्टर।
BGMS सीजन 4 की शुरुआत हुई विद एन ऑल आउट वार, क्योंकि कल हमने देखे 4 मैचेस और चारों मैचेस में हमें मिले 4 अलग अलग विनर्स, लेकिन एक महायुद्ध भी देखने को मिला जब सैनॉक पे इट वाज सोल एंड गॉड लाइक, लेकिन कहते हैं ना द लास्ट लाफ was with Joker. Now दूसरी तरफ ओजी हु करते हुए वो पहुंच गए हैं लीडर बोर्ड के बिल्कुल टॉप पर विदाउट अ सिंगल चिकन डिनर। तो आज दूसरे दिन ऑफ BGMS सीजन 4 कुछ सवाल हैं। क्या फिर से हमें 4 मैचेस में मिलेंगे 4 अलग अलग विनर्स? क्या फिर से ओजी बिना कोई चिकन डिनर निकाले वो पॉइंट्स का गैप जो है वो बढ़ा लेगी? वेल, वी आर रियली एक्साइटेड और मैं अकेला नहीं हूं, हमारे साथ हैं द रियल MVP डुओ ऑफ द डुओलिंगो इंग्लिश टेस्ट, जिन्होंने अपनी यूनिवर्सिटी अनलॉकिंग एबिलिटी से थोड़ा सा वक्त निकाला है so that they can watch all this action unfold on day 2. Can't wait for it. Let's join our folks in the studio.
Welcome to the day 2 of the BGMS Season 4. We're currently inside of the league stage, and yes, yesterday's day kicked off on quite the fire note. OG was not able to start the day off on a great note, but then later on we saw AKOP just pick up that pace, eliminate teams after teams, and take the maximum advantage off that power play system.
Oh my god, those 6 finishes. If I'm not wrong, overall he had 9 finishes in total for his team as well, out of which 8 were in the power play. So 16 points, my god, this dude was on absolute cloud 9 after that. And the fun fact is, even Surain mentioned on the pre-show segment that OG, without a chicken dinner yesterday, are still managing to lead the leaderboards.
Of course, and OG is someone that we expected to lead the charts as well, right? Knowing the fact that they have been performing so well, even in the recent third-party tournaments that happened, they were someone that set up records after records. And one thing is for sure, OG was supposed to perform. But then let's speak about the teams that we expected to perform and that were not able to perform. Before we talk about those teams, once again, we got to shed some light on the format of this BGMS Season 4. As we know, we're currently inside of the league stage, which is going to be lasting lasting till the 7th of September. 24 invited teams will duke it out every single day for the span of 21 days, playing 4 matches every day, and the top 4 teams directly advance towards the grand finals of the BGMS Season 4.
And from the teams that are ranging from 13 to 24, they will move on to the league stage as well, or rather, they will be qualifying for the semi-finals. But the fun fact is, later on, once we move forward, even the bottom 8 teams, right, they're not going to get eliminated. They will make sure that they match up against the winners of BGCS and the top 8 teams from there. Eventually, they'll play their own games, rise up, then play in the semi-finals, move on to the grand finals itself. So you've got many chances to try and play around throughout the entire series.
Exactly. But something that was really exciting was the day 1 of the Master Series Season 4, where we saw the players get outside of their buses, and the moment we saw them for the first time, everyone was extremely excited to be there on the set and get their hands on towards the game as soon as possible. Game 1 started with a lot of confusing notes, but before that, we also did see the opening ceremony, which was absolutely electric.
I mean, it is literally the blockbuster of esports. And as you mentioned, once we moved on to the first game itself, there was a big blow coming in. Seoul, right now, being led by Knuckle, was the team who eventually shut down OG in that game. And we saw so many turns coming in left, right and center, eventually getting us the first winner of that game.
First game was all about testing the waters, knowing exactly what sort of playstyle is going to be, but REVENANT X-Park took the cake in that first game itself. In the second game in Miramar, we saw orangutans being absolutely hammered down constantly, but then one man stood strong, which was iQOO getting a lot of points for his team in the power play and being the absolute MVP in that game.
Eventually, we also saw one of the last stands coming in from Viper as well. He managed to shut down the members of Seoul, but could not really continue his wrath against True Rippers. Eventually, over towards the later stages, it was Meta NINZA who closed that game out as well against their opponents. And man, oh man, they had to almost bite the dust as well.
Joker absolutely obliterating the entirety of Hero Extreme Godlike, single-handedly manhandling the entirety of Hero Extreme Godlike, and he had an evil smirk in the end as well. Marcos Gaming was someone who ended up clutching that entire game for themselves and naming that Sanhok.
I mean, it was absolutely fantastic, but so was that last stand of Troy. When everyone was jumping on that one road, he stood his ground. He made sure he stands tall, just like how Global Esports did all the way back in Season 1, as that's where they stand on the 4th position overall right now, Necro. But that's the fun thing about this entire event, right? It changes instantly. A group that eventually played 4 games yesterday will now only play 2 today.
Even if a team is currently sitting on the latter half of the board, currently sitting on the bottom, imagine if they get a lot of elimination points in the power play. They can instantly catapult themselves on the first spot.
Yeah.
That's how quick of a change you can see in the leaderboard. It can change the entirety of the face off the leaderboard. And currently looking at the latter half of the board, you also do see 8-Bit right there sitting on the 16th spot. Team Aryan, yesterday they tried to pull out a safe gameplay. It did not really work out. I want to see a bit of a change in the pace now.
I mean, that is the entire concept of BGMS, right? Every single time we've been saying the exact same storyline, that the teams who will master the power play will eventually master the entire format and will be able to steal this entire series away as well. So that's the most important thing which I really want to focus on, because there are a lot of teams that showed that aggression. OG was the prime example of that.
Yeah, and you clearly saw in the overall standings too. The last page teams just played 2 games. That means today they're going to play a lot more game. Before we keep on talking about the games, let's move on towards the stage and let's see what's cooking.
एक तरफ गॉडलाइक के कोच और दूसरी तरफ मैट किंग्स के शैडो. लेट्स जस्ट स्टार्ट विद यू क्योंकि एक्सिस से मुलाकात हो रही है फिर से. एंड हु वांट्स टू मीट देयर एक्स. लेकिन मैट किंग्स नई टीम, शुरुआत लेकिन कल थोड़ी मिड सी थी. कितना जरूरी है टू कम बैक एंड शो दैट कम बैक?
जैसे कि आपको पता है, जैसे न्यू टीम बनी है अभी, हम लोग अपने मिस्टेक्स को, मतलब चिली मिस्टेक्स को उस पर वर्क करेंगे और मतलब ऐसा अच्छा कमबैक देंगे.
ऑलराइट, और टीम नहीं है लेकिन आप एक वेटरन कोच रहे हैं. सो गॉडलाइक के साथ पिछले 2 सीजन में हमने देखा है देयर हैव बीन सम मोमेंट्स ऑफ ब्रिलियंस, लेकिन वो कंसिस्टेंसी नहीं दिखा पाए हैं. तो आपकी उस कंसिस्टेंसी की तरफ अप्रोच क्या रहेगी?
अभी मुझे ज़्यादा वक्त नहीं हुआ है, आपको पता होगा गॉडलाइक को ज्वाइन किए हुए. तो अभी हम लोग जो बेसिक गेम प्लान है उसको हम लोग ज़्यादा चेंज नहीं कर रहे हैं. अपना मेन जो अभी टारगेट है वो है मिस्टेक्स पे काम करना, स्ट्रेंथ्स पे खेलना और अपनी स्ट्रैटेजीज को रिफाइन करना. तो अभी के लिए तो उतना ही है.
शैडो, आपके जो फैंस हैं दे जस्ट वेटिंग कि कब विंटेज शैडो एंड क्लच गॉड का वो डुओ जो है वो परफॉर्म करेगा.
जैसे कि आपको बताया आता ही है, थोड़ा लेट आता है पर आता है, तो सब लोग होप करो कि हम लोग भी अच्छा खेले, हम लोग अपनी मिस्टेक्स पे वर्क करके जो आपको देखना है वही दिखाएंगे.
Right. And last question. ये नाम जो है Godlike, it comes with its own pressure. वो टैग है. उस टैग से निजी तौर पे on a personal level, how are you dealing with it?
नाम तो एक्चुअली बहुत बड़ा है, बट मैं खुद को इस केस में बहुत फॉर्चुनेट मानता हूँ बिकॉज गॉडलाइक जैसे नामों के साथ मैं पास्ट में भी एसोसिएटेड रह चुका हूँ. तो अभी तो यही है कि आई हैव टेकन दिस अपॉर्चुनिटी एज अ चैलेंज एंड बाकी सब मैंने वक्त पे छोड़ दिया है.
लिखा हुआ है इस जैकेट पे दिल से Godlike. वो शैडो नहीं बोलेगा. लेकिन एक छोटा सा ब्रेक. ऑन द अदर साइड द एक्शन अनफोल्ड. सारा एक्शन ऑन द OnePlus 13. मैच नंबर 1 इज कमिंग अप. BGMS सीजन 4 डे 2 पर.
How did we go from bathtub to battleground?
Gemini on Android, bro. Anything can happen.
Press to create videos.
Only on Android.
TVS Raider, the wicked ride.
Real MVPs are not born. They practice every day. For OP moves on the field and in life.
Duolingo English Test. Proud supporters of dreamers and doers.
Red Bull gives you wings. R is for RAM on roids. A 12 gigabyte ramped up, run on all engines, upgraded in a world resigned to 8 gig. Ridiculously ripped. Raise the stakes with a ruthless dozen. Ready to raid. Write faster, roll smoother. Reach higher with a refuse to die battery. Every app, every activity. Rep, 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 rep. If it's in your radius, R keeps it on rotation. OnePlus 13R. R is ours.
We're just a few moments away from heading inside of the first game of the day 2 in the league stage of the BGMS Season 4. Scared, we all know what we all are speculating, and at this point in time, we want to see the teams on the latter half of the board. We want to see the teams on the last page make a catapult towards the first page.
I mean, yesterday we clearly saw that Group B teams were the ones who played those 4 games, right? But even after all of that, there was a team that shined brightest amongst all the other groups. You talk about A or C, and that was Team Global Esports. I really want to see them perform on all of these maps today.
Exactly. Group A and C are going to be the one to kick things off on the map of Erangel. Then later on, Group A and C will also play the map of Miramar. In Sanhok, we will see that grouping switched up, and that's where a spicy element will be added. But Group A and C, one thing is for sure, we've got some stacked names over here too. FS Esports, Metal Esports, Reckoning Esports, Los Hermanos, Team Aryan will be back once again. Team Aryan yesterday, we had a lot of expectations from them, but it felt like Team Aryan was playing under a lot of pressure, or maybe just trying to get the weather, maybe just trying to get to know the entire lobby.
I think so as well, right? Plus, at the same point, I just feel like yesterday, since it was Group B as well with them, I think so the Group B has got a lot of big names, right? There's a lot of behemoths out there. You talk about NINZA, God's Reign, Orangutan, even Revenant X Park. We always know how Sensei, he enjoys the league stage of BGMS. He always has such a good idea of how teams like to play here that he gets his team in the power position. So even he and his boys become absolutely deadly, considering now Fierce has joined the lineup back in. So I think so, Team Aryan, yeah, you could say they were testing out the waters. Now, considering they have all 4 maps today to play on, maybe we're gonna see something new from them.
Let's hope they've already got the lay of the land, and let's hope they're already prepared to stay inside of the first game and absolutely obliterate the lobby. Power play is going to be extremely important for the viewers that are tuning in for the first time to explain to you guys what exactly power play is. Stage 1 of the game, the elimination points will be doubled up. It means even if you get 1 elimination point for yourself in the stage 1, it will be counted as 2 in the overall standings.
Absolutely, and that's exactly what you need to eventually rise up out on that leaderboard, just like how this big bird is now going to fly up, rise up onto the lands of Erangel, moving all the way down from military base towards up shooting range out here. Group A and C going to be playing in for the first 2 games now, for the first 2 maps. So Erangel and Miramar, 2 of the maps that a lot of these teams like to play on. It's going to be super fun to see how that eventually works out as well, right? As we talked about that. Military base, yeah, it's going to be super fun though, but there's no God's Rain to try and drop into that military base island.
Yeah, but we've got True Rippers maybe trying to experiment and test the waters.
Yeah.
Slowly and steadily gliding towards that Sanhok military base. I like this improvement. They pretty much came up with this play on the fly. Let's see if it's going to work out or not. There's a big chance True Rippers can be caught off guard, but I'm pretty sure if True Rippers is making a move on the play itself, I'm pretty sure they have practiced quite a bit on this drop location, even inside of the scrims, so True Rippers does seem quite confident.
That's the main thing, right? Considering they're going to get that empty space all for themselves, but it's not going to be fully empty out there. Reckoning Esports are also close by. Flock, Viper, Max, and the boys. And if you really look at just a bit more north towards it, was just or rather, Victor Sumus out there. Always, he's going to be standing up. We always have seen this team to go in for that 1-3 drop where Always drops over towards the military base island, then picks up a vehicle to run back and rendezvous with his team. So that's one thing. But I mean, yeah, I know, right? This circle, yet again, on the map of Erangel, it seems like the circle for the first shift is always going to go on a hard either left or right. And this time, it's the eastern shift.
Hey, look at that camera. Don't you like that little toy? I'm pretty sure you're a big fan of plushies and toys, and that's the only reason why I wanted to grab your attention towards that. But you know what? Back towards the game once again. We've also got K9 Esports inside of the mix, and we all know K9 Esports, there's someone who likes to amp up the aggression and take those early game fights. And with that, Team Aryan as well towards Rozhok. Yeah, this time around, Team Aryan, knowing the fact that they're slacking off in the overall standings, they need to take the advantage of the power play. At least trying to get a squad wipe done. That's going to be 8 points off the rip. Strong start can help you quite a bit.
I mean, either you take the 8 points or you become the 8 points. There's no in between.
I'll take the gamble. If I was a player.
Absolutely. I'm going to do that as well. But hold on for a second. The gamble has been taken down from Jonathan right now. And it seems like we are hearing voices. A lot of people having their crazy reaction out here. The most famous man out being taken down the first.
Well, sometimes just being famous is not enough.
Oh my God.
And over here, Jonathan getting taken down quite easily by the opponents. You know, now here Extreme Godlike starting things off with just a 3-man squad. They were already struggling in the overall standings, and now such a bad start to the game. Yeah, it's just going to be salt on top of the wounds. But something that's going to help you get rid of the salt on top of the wounds is also going to be the OnePlus 13, which features the Snapdragon 8 Elite, which means you will also get that smooth gaming experience every single time you boot up inside of the game.
For now, I'm just intrigued by the smooth driving of Middle. I mean, the kind of aggression that went out there, right? That's the fun thing. It's Scout and the boys taking down Jonathan and the boys. Not saying anything. Fun. Yeah, but it's fine. They just you know what would happen, right? They might be just roaming around Yasnaya, Polyana. Then they eventually saw them, gave them a chase, a run for the money. They got one down, they got Jonathan down, and then ran back to safety.
You just gotta love to see it. The game's just started. Metal Esports, once again, absolute gangsters in the vehicle searching for elimination points, and that's why I love this team. Scout OP has been the recent addition, but before Scout, we've still got those players who were known as the gangsters. And once again, they're pretty much doing the same thing. And now they've got even more driving force because of the power play system.
And instantly getting those 2 points as well. to be honest, I'm more surprised about Godlike running away from that fight, right? Normally, I still remember just a few months ago, this exact roster, these exact same players were the ones who would fire on all cylinders. They were the ones, if anyone decided to take a fight against them, they would make sure to give them a run for their money. They would always take that fight. They would always drink the Bisleri water, calm themselves down, and then would bite the other team in the back. But this is like one of those rare times when we're seeing them shying away, and I feel it comes down to that confidence of the team themselves.
Infinix Esports against Genesis this time around. Man getting caught off guard. And Phoenix, they just can't do anything. There is one more man in the back lines, and even Ash gets picked off. What's going on with Phoenix Esports? Where is the firepower? Why are the players so scattered? Phoenix getting picked off slowly and steadily, but Jahan finally strikes back. That's going to be the backbone right there, saving them. But is that save going to be enough? Is that one knock going to be enough to keep Genesis Esports off your tail? My answer is no. They're constantly chasing down another man of Phoenix because they know they've got the man advantage, and Genesis Esports, they can afford a threat like this. Phoenix with only a two-man squad, Jahan's position compromised. Now he needs to face off against 3 players of Genesis Esports, which want to barge in this compound. And soon they can easily breach into Phoenix with their just one man standing. The only support they can have, the only saving grace is Jahan. And Jahan might just get overwhelmed by this push from the opponents. Runs out of bullets in the magazine, opens up Scarrail, but that's not enough. In the end, will be eliminated.
He almost pulled off a nasty play out there though, but right now, another nasty play being pulled by Reckoning Viper, the lone man trying to stand up. Eventually, it's come down to Los Hermanos. My Gs are absolutely doing insane out there, losing 1, but still getting 8 major points in the power play.
Solid stuff. Genesis, they have 8 points without any sort of casualties. Los Hermanos has got 8 points as well. Metal Esports, they've got 2. Reckoning Esports as well got 2. And Global Esports, so far, they've managed to acquire 2 points as well. Remember, inside of the power play, the points double up.
It was Manya of Global Esports who was able to get 1 instantly. Being able to shut down one player from Medal 2. Something that we were really expecting to see, but just getting caught in the rotation out there, that chase did not really help out now. Having a look at where the entire rotation would be going in for the teams, right? I think so. Genesis, they're in the prime position out there towards Lipovka, but I'm pretty sure that the circle would eventually shift away from that. Los Hermanos as well, just a bit south, having the fun time in Milta Power. But it's the center where my focus is going to be, around the shelter area, mansion, prison.
Victorious Sumus on the move. Moving from edge to edge, trying to get inside of the circle.
Yeah.
Power play will expire within 35 seconds. So if anyone doesn't want to take the advantage of it, they need to do it in these upcoming 30 seconds. After that, the power play will be deactivated. But Metal Esports, they wanted to take the advantage, but instead walked into a spring trap. Aimbot knocked out and confirmed. And that's going to be 2 points delivered to Team Aryan. A way to kick things off. It's not one of the best possible ways, but these 2 points can go a long way for a team on the last page.
You wanted to see some aggression from Aryan? Well, you found that not exactly in the way you wanted it to, but you know what? You're going to take it every day. We already know how solid Team Aryan is in terms of holding their ground, in terms of holding their compound. A lot of teams now converging all the way. A little bit off center now, the circle taking sort of a western shift too now, leaving a lot of water bodies behind. Lipovka as well, just on the edge. So even though Genesis were looking at the prime position, now they will have to shift back. And it's a lot of open grounds. It's a full hilly area with just trees and maybe some rocks out there for the hard cover. So you will not really have anything solid to protect you or your backlines. Now this is where your vehicles become even more important, so that you can burst them down to create some solid covers later in the game.
Hero Extreme Godlike. A team that lost out on the man quite early. Now it's a 3-man squad. They need to keep the torch alive. Genesis Esports. 4th man is taken down low. Hunters is chipped up a bit, but once again, I don't really see any way that Genesis Esports can lose out on any of the men. They've got a solid understanding of the surrounding. And that's why Genesis Esports now backing away, reuniting with each other. At this point in time, everyone just starting to attract towards the centric part of the circle. That's what happens every single time. Stage 2 is always hard shift inside of the new zone structure, but Stage 3 is where the real deal begins.
Still not seeing any real deal starting right now. Down over towards the prison, right? That those hills are going to be heavily contested. That's where most of the players are. Really want to see which team is eventually holding them down.
Indeed, it is the big question.
I have to say, right? It's 8-bit standing there, FS as well. But not a lot of other teams trying to contest that. And I believe it's kind of fine, right? Because there's still around 14 remaining. It's a power position that a lot of teams would eye out for. So you really want to pick your timings when you want to go for those fights. Right now, none of that is happening.
K9 Esports.
Yeah.
Look at them.
Having
They're
fun.
charging it towards Lipovka. And it's quite weird to see K9 Esports play from the edges, really avoid any sort of battle. Since K9 Esports is supposed to be one of those teams that is supposed to take the advantage, that's supposed to go for the early game fights, but they're not doing so. They're playing it pretty passive. The next zone shift is on the screen. Top right. K9 Esports, luckily enough, they find themselves in quite a decent spot. Yeah, they're still playing from the edge, but let's see if they can be the cleanup crew and clean their way inside the center.
Right now, a lot of teams are going to be converging onto that exact path. Godlike finally, after a long time, finding themselves dead in the center, but we have seen this kind of gameplay from them even yesterday on the map of Erangel, which did not really work out that well for them. They're struggling in terms of holding their ground down, but it's going to become even more difficult for the teams around them to take those fights because there's just so many right now. Look at outside of the circle. My G lost Hermanos. They're actually a bit of in trouble as well as 4TR. They fire some of their own shots too against Mad Kings that are close to them.
4TR. Payne tossing out utilities in the front. And 4TR just want to find a way to get in a better spot. Since the spot they've got is quite exposed as well. Sidelines, they do seem pretty exposed. So 4TR needs to be careful.
Yeah.
They're in the smack center. Line out prone. While on the opposite side, if you look at their opponents, they've got a decent spot to play with. There's someone who can easily hold the spot down to. This little trench. It can provide them enough cover. There's also a ledge right next to him. They can easily get a headshot angle against the opponents. So yeah, for Mad Kings, it's a solid spot.
Also got two of the players who've also had their own experience in IGLing as well, right? A lot of brains now being combined out there to try and get this team to success and the former glory that their players had seen themselves in right now. Smack in, Global Esports, the other ones are actually on the receiving end, as it's all down to the Spray God. We know that the form this man pulled yesterday, but can he do it again?
Victorious Sumus, he just straight up breach inside of the compound, but Spray God, he's someone who replies back pretty strong. And the entirety of Global Esports, they prove out to be the kryptonite for Victorious Sumus as they get kicked outside of this game on the 14th spot. Global Esports, oh boy, well played defense there, but just losing out on one man. That's quite great.
Pretty solid if you ask me, right? Because they were able to hold their ground down as well. And if you consider a point that they eventually got all the way back in the power play too, that's extra.
Yeah, they've got 6 points so far.
Average has been reached.
I still believe 7 to 8 points is something that you need to be a little bit more safe and secure. And knowing the fact that you need to be in the top 4 to directly qualify towards the grand finals, then yeah, 7 to 8 points should be the average.
That's true. Now considering, trying to be in that top 4, it's kind of the main thing. I'm pretty sure you would not really want to be in the top 4 at least early on in this event, right? Because we know that the bounty is going to be activated pretty soon.
Well, it's going to happen either ways, right? If you place yourself in the top 4 right now or later, it's going to happen either ways.
That is true.
K9 Esports. There we go. Finally, the boys decide to strike. The squad's ready and primed, and Likitha Esports on the receiving side of the spectrum. Smoker smoked. Man's just tapping away. Slug wants to get the confirmation. Magic in the back lines as well. Slug is always someone who creates incredible off angles in a fight. And that's what K9 Esports and Slug are known for. They always know how to position Slug in those off angles. Look at the Esports, they somehow do find a bit of that answer. That's going to suppress the players and the thoughts of K9. So it's going to give them that breathing room to go for this revival. Without any problem. K9 Esports, a few more teams starting to stack around them. And there's Genesis Esports in the nearby vicinity. K9, they need to be careful of Genesis. The elimination feed starting to pop up once again. And look at the Esports somehow. They're just not finding a break with this fight. Smoker gets knocked out once again. K9 Esports is constantly applying that pressure. But Genesis Esports, they've got different plans. Even they want to apply pressure on K9.
They wanted to go for the third party right now, but this small ceasefire between both of these teams eventually has forced Genesis to run back. And guess what? K9 are the ones who are absolutely hungry. They want to take that fight. They want to delete the players and eventually pushing the members of Genesis back as well onto the mix. It's going to help them out as well. While that was happening, Global Esports managed to shut down MyG Los Hermanos. They've been eliminated. Global Esports, they're having fun time out here, man.
Global Esports is doing a great job. Sustaining a great spot in the overall standings. Getting 7 points so far in this game too. Having 3 more men standing. Yeah, 35 points on the board. What else can you ask for? Global Esports, day 2, and you're already coming out with flying colors. And mark this, they're also in the top 4, by the way.
Yeah.
Even better. Icing on top of the cake.
And the fun thing is that it's going to be tomorrow when they play 4 games. But they're still trailing behind by 2 games and being in the top 4. That means they're doing very well.
Yeah.
As compared to a lot of other teams.
If they manage to get more than 10 points in this game, man, it's going to be a dream start for day 2.
True.
And then it's out of the second game. Global Esports can just try and sustain with the average. Before now, True Rippers, they've got a bit of a problem. K9 Esports once again against Likitha Esports. They're just not letting go of Likitha. Slug is able to constantly apply that pressure, find those knocks over and over again. Inferno knocked out this time, and Magic's exposed. I'm not exactly sure what the man's thinking, but Magic is too exposed. Finally gets back in the cover.
Can't do anything.
But what's going on here?
Yeah.
Demarian pushing up close and personal against Metal Esports. Scout's all by himself in the upper floor, and he places himself in the closet room. He's got a UMP-45 to work with, but it's Team Aryan, and they're not going to back out just like that. Pushing in tandem, and Scout's not going to stand a single chance.
Not really having anything apart from a UMP out there, middle. The only success they had was an early couple of frags. Apart from that, nothing. And right now, True Rippers, the third-party Kings, are eventually getting bit in their own bag by FS. Levi out there. Trying to land in that utility. The door closed up in front of him on his face right now, but it's still the building behind him. And the main players are Lowish. We remember the last stand of this dude yesterday. If I'm not wrong, it was on the map of Sanhok, but it was absolutely mind-blowing.
Yeah.
Or rather, it was on the map of Miramar itself. The second game, my dude was destroying everyone left and right and center, whoever wanted to push against him. And FS are really carrying that form as well.
Yeah, FS, especially Roman with that S12K, he's gonna bump rush inside of the house. And in the end, we'll shut down the foe that was lying in that house. Great stuff from FS, but still, There is a bit of that threat lingering around in the compound.
Yeah.
And that threat is in the name of magic. But can he really be the magician and save the day? He's the only glimmer of hope standing. His magic needs to work, and his one's going to be the shotgun up close and personal.
I'm quite sure he's not going to try and do any of those shenanigans right now, considering he's the last man of his team, and the esports, they tend to prioritize some of those position points. Most of the teams are fighting against each other, so you have to grab as many as you could potentially, but it's Beast. The man is not having a nice game right now. He's been constantly knocked in, this time confirmed as well as his Genesis facing the wrath of K9. They wanted to third party them, but now are eventually finding them on the back foot. But hold on, Hunters, we've always known him to stand up, and he absolutely is standing up.
Genesis with 6 finishes on the board so far, and they're not done yet. Now they want a little bit of piece of K9 Esports too, but K9, they're not someone who you can chew apart just like that. They are someone who will make sure that you pay the maximum price to take them down, and Genesis, they've already lost out in 2. Those 2 men taken away to death. Eventually Ninja Boy gets knocked out, but even Yash gets traded instantly. Slug, the only man in the front, standing for the players of K9 Esports, and he will be eliminated by gravity. K9 Esports done and dusted, but Genesis Esports, man oh man, that's a lot of damage.
Only 1 player remaining right now, as Godlike were passing close by. Admino was able to get those 2 flushes as well. A big play coming in from their side. I almost thought that K9 are going to be closing it out, but the man who's closing out the distance is Admino down there. Molotov in the feed. The floor is fire. You've got to run away because this green grass does burn.
Gravity's got so many loot crates around him that he can keep on looting up and replenishing his utilities for days. So this man's going to be having a lot of nades, a lot of Molotovs, and a ton of smokes. So you would not want to mess out with a man who's got unlimited utilities. But Mad King's in the front. Shadow being suppressed a little bit. He's got 3 nades and 3 smokes. And Molotov to back himself up. His teammates, though, they need to provide him some cover as well.
Where does he want to go is the big question. They're going to go back to the same trenches where they started their things from, and I think so that is still a pretty decent call considering a lot of teams are on the edges. They will be fighting against each other, and you would not really want to get caught in the crossfire out here because it's open grounds in front of you.
I'm still a little bit confused about Mad Kings, though. Who's the one to make the main calls? Is this Shadow or Clutch God? I mean, you've got 2 IGLs in one roster. I'm pretty sure there has to be a bit of a clash between the thoughts, right?
Well, maybe one of them has just decided to do the filter.
I guess. I mean, Clutch God has always been someone that does possess amazing firepower, so there's a big chance he might be someone who's taken on the assaulter role.
Exactly what I've also wanted to play, right? That Clutch God maybe just wants a bit of relief on the shoulders right now. It's Aryan who are making sure that it's 4TR who are relieved of their winning duty, at least in this game. Instantly slamming onto them, deleting them. But not without their own casualties. 2 of the players are down, and this could be the perfect time for anyone close by to try and push.
This Team Aryan is what we were searching for on the day 1. But on day 2, they woke up and chose violence. Winning fights after fights. Team Aryan proving themselves and proving exactly why they were the chosen ones. 4TR eliminated from this game by Team Aryan, and they now also have a solid crowd to play with. They're currently on the edge. Hero Extreme Godlike making it till the top 6 with just a 3-man squad. But once again, it's BGMS. Playing the survival game in BGMS isn't really tough because teams are taking a lot of fights in the power play itself. What matters is sealing the deal and getting the chicken dinner. Now, that's where you can get a fair share of points to yourself.
That's one thing though, but I still want to see a lot of aggression from the teams as well. The one that exactly Team Aryan showed right now. And we've always known this team to play around the northwestern part of the circles every single time. Even yesterday on the map of Miramar, they did the exact same thing. Even right now in this game, they're doing the exact same thing. Fully spread out towards the western periphery. And they're making sure that they clear out all of that area as well. And I think so that's why it was 4TR who were eventually on their list of hunting. Since they came a bit too close to the Beast right now, as we are talking about Beast as power on the screen, but HP absolutely not equal to his own potential.
Yeah, the man's getting chipped up pretty low. FSC Sports two-man squad, 6 finishes racked up. FS as well, they're doing pretty decent to themselves. Honestly speaking, this is probably one of the greatest starts FS Esports is going to have today.
True.
And they can convert a lot more placement points as well. Keep that thing in mind. They've already got 6 finish points acquired. They can steal a few away in the open fields in the front. And this is what exactly I was scared about. 8-Bit, they still somehow lose a man in this push. Unbelievable. Mad Kings, they can actually bounce back in this fight. Ninja's nade, it needs to be on the mark. And if it does make an impact, 8-Bit might just be scattered and shattered. But Beast, he gets the revival. And this revival was desperately needed for 8-Bit. Now spamming through the smoke. Mad Kings in a big wall of trouble. Ninja's taken down pretty low. Pulls out the smoke grenade launcher. We'll toss out the smoke, but it's not going to matter. A well-placed nade from S-Power will seal the deal.
I was just about to say that they had to make sure to take that fight, right? Because it was Aryan who would eventually converge on that point. 8-Bit as well from down south will make their own way. Godlike as well. They're trying to do the exact same thing as Aryan are on their hit list. They're taking them apart one after the other. It's Henry falling down as well. 2 losses already incurred. Make it 3 as Cyrax eventually finds his way into the crosshair of Somraj. Or rather his power as he is down on the knees, but he will still survive thanks to Beast.
Godlike and 8-Bit finally breaking the silence. 8-Bit taking down Mad Kings. And Godlike doing a significant amount of damage to the players of Team Aryan. Hero Extreme, Godlike, all that safe game approach now finally ends. And they are the one to take the fights. They've also got a solid spot to play with. But now it's time to spread out and get a little bit of more intel on the players of 8-Bit. Luckily enough for Hero Extreme, Godlike, they're not on the edge. They're playing in the smack center of the zone, so they've got the major advantage, and they've also got a decent bit of high ground to play with. Hero Extreme, Godlike, on paper, this is their game to lose.
I'm just worried about FS out there because those 2 players down in the smoke can ruin the game. If Punk oversteps his boundary, if he just goes out a little bit in the open, he'll face a lot of problems. But right now, it is 8-Bit who will eventually have to converge in the very same pits where they took down.
Oh my god, 8-Bit.
Yeah, they were the ones who took down Mad Kings in the same area. They could be buried instantly there.
You know who's tossing out the smokes? It's 8-Bit. 8-Bit is tossing those smokes on top of the hill so that they can block the line of sight of Godlike and also toss a smoke closer to them so that the players in the back can actually reunite. That's pretty great. All of that high ground that Hero Extreme Godlike had, it's now down the drain. Because 8-Bit, they've already found a bit of a footing inside of the circle. The only team Hero Extreme Godlike can really chew up on now is FS Esports.
As soon as that fight starts, that's when 8-Bit will also go in for the slam.
You never know. Does 8-Bit have vehicles? That's the only way 8-Bit can actually go for a slam. If they don't...
They have. They just really went on for that rotation with a couple of vehicles. That's all you need.
Well, if the tires are not busted, then definitely there's a chance. If the tires are there, then I guess they can definitely go for a quick slam. But I still believe 8-Bit has a solid trench to work with. I don't think they should leave that. That's what I personally think.
I mean, it eventually falls down to who FS will target, or who will target FS. That one fight is going to be the most crucial one. Do not do that, my man. It's going to be instantly destroyed by firing from every single angle out here. FS, they're trying to go in for that rotation. The reaction says it all now. Not really the best, but they will still remain on the edge for only as long as those smokes last. Once they fade, they're absolutely out in the open in everyone's line of sight.
Love to see it. That hovercraft is going a long way for FS Esports. And Levi constantly repositioning himself with that coupe. This is why you need vehicles in the end game.
True.
Soon the final stage is going to begin and no one can do anything. They probably just need to wait. That's all they can do. Hero Extreme Godlike. This nade, if it does actually land towards the perfect spot. Well, maybe not. Yep, far from it. But this one can definitely go in, and yes it does! Somraj knocked out, that's the opener! Godlike needed. But even that knock is still going to bring the fight to an equal stance because 8-Bit had 4 players already alive, and now it will be a 3-on-3 fight unless FS Esports, they've got different plans. Levi's already knocked out and confirmed Admino. He's sort of helping the players of 8-Bit, and Lovish once again inside of this hovercraft. It's going to be tough to get rid of this, man. I mean, but it's already burning. So it's on the verge of being exploded. A few more bullets can actually get rid of that hovercraft, and with that, even Lovish, he will be taken care of.
But now the main question will be as to which team will try to take that fight. Lovish has got to try and push out as soon as he moves out. Admino is the man who is eventually able to take him, but that very instant is exactly what 8-Bit needed. Taking down Admino on his knees, and he was the man who was firing. Simp needs to get 2 knocks at least, and he gets 1, but instantly traded by second. Punk all out, standing alone for Godlike. You've got S12K firing on all cylinders. Just 1-on-1 remains. Can he get the man down? And he will clutch it out for Godlike.
How did this just happen? It was one of the most scrappiest fights. And I'm pretty sure the thought process was 0 in that one. No one was thinking well. But it still somehow went the way of Hero Extreme Godlike. Admino got too greedy initially for that elimination point against Lovish, and that's why he almost messed up that entire game. But then Punk in the end just saved the day. The big man, the IGL, there as a backbone to save Hero Extreme Godlike from that sinking ship. Oh boy! Admino almost threw that. I thought it's done. I thought it's 8-Bit's game. But Punk, he's got things under control, and he saved it. Let's have a look at the final blow, and let's see what exactly happened there. One thing is for sure, the communication wasn't that good between both the teams. Neither 8-Bit and neither Godlike was communicating properly. But luckily enough, Godlike was able to clutch it out, Punk was able to clutch it out and save the day. But 8-Bit, this was their game to lose. They had the man advantage, had all the right to win this. But here Extreme Godlike played it perfectly. But now it's time to move on towards the stage for a quick little interview with the boys of Hero Extreme Godlike.
Godlike finally joins the party. पहला दिन निकल गया. We were waiting कि Godlike का नाम कब आएगा और आज के पहले मैच में ही. And last moments, Punk 1v3 8-Bit के साथ वो final battle. उस टाइम पे दिमाग चल रहा होता है या सिर्फ उंगलियां जो है वो चल रही हैं and whatever happens instinct पे आप खेल रहे हो?
दिमाग यार चल रहा होता है, पता है यार सामने वाले मतलब 8-Bit है, बट आई हटा के कुछ और भी लगा सकता हूँ, बट छोड़ो यार अभी बोलना नहीं ज्यादा.
वो भाई जो कोने में बैठा हुआ है जॉनी, उसको आपने बहुत जल्दी गवा दिया था, तो उसके बाद was there a change in strategy? कुछ बात हुई और you were like अब जैसे हो रहा है वैसे चलेंगे?
कल के मैचेस के बाद हम अपनी गलती एनालाइज की थी. उसके बाद हम लोग कॉन्फिडेंट थे, भले हम 3 मैन हो गए, बट उसने भी हमें बहुत मोटिवेट किया. सब एक दूसरे को पंप रखे एंड वो आपने देख लिया कि कैसे हमने खेला. फिर
तुम्हारी जैकेट थी जो इंटरव्यू के टाइम पे उधार लेके और हम उनसे बात करने आए थे, बट कंपेयर टू डे 1 डे 2 के दिन यू सी अ वेरी डिफरेंट गॉडलाइक. कुछ कॉन्वर्सेशन हुई है, समथिंग चेंज और नथिंग एट ऑल?
ऐसा कुछ नहीं था. हम लोग मतलब हम 4 लोग एक्चुअली 2 या 3 महीने बाद साथ में लैंड खेल रहे हैं, तो वही थोड़ा सा मोमेंटम पकड़ना था जो कि अब मिल चुका है, तो अब सब सही जाएगा आई थिंक.
राइट जॉनी, फाइनल वर्ड. बातें बहुत हुई हैं हमारे बीच में, बट डज इट फील रियली गुड कि वंस अगेन, मैंने औरंग को भी ये बोला था कि गॉडलाइक का नाम जो है एक रुतबे के साथ आता है, बट उस रुतबे के साथ देयर इज ऑल्सो अ प्रेशर. चिकन डिनर निकाल चुके हो, बट इट्स अ लॉन्ग टूर्नामेंट ब्रो.
सो राइट नाउ कि वी आर जस्ट कैचिंग दैट पेस, जो बोलते हैं ना मोमेंटम पकड़ना. ये मैच में थोड़ा अनलक्की रह गया था मैं, थोड़ा अर्ली कैजुअलिटी हो गई थी मेरी, बट वही है कि टीम को एक स्टार्ट मिला है, सो होपफुली वी कैच दैट पेस एंड जस्ट कीप दैट मोमेंटम गोइंग ऑन एंड विन दैट ट्रॉफी.
One thing you can expect from Godlike, boring खेल कभी नहीं खेलेंगे. They're going to be aggressive from the get-go. लेंगे एक break and we build up to match number 2.
Bro, we're about to drop.
Just a second. I need to finish this video.
Ask Gemini on Android, it will give highlights.
Press for key highlights.
Only on Android.
TVS Raider, the wicked ride.
Real MVPs are not born, they practice every day for OP moves on the field and in life.
Duolingo English Test. Proud supporters of dreamers and doers.
Red Bull gives you wings.
After the first game done and dusted, Hero Extreme Godlike finally catching the pace that was needed for them to catapult themselves on the first half of the board. Welcome back to BGMS Season 4. You guys are currently watching the English broadcast, and I'm going to be your host, Crore, John, alongside with me on the panel. It's Scared Yet. And yeah, this was the game that Hero Extreme Godlike was searching for, but even 8-Bit did pretty good. And let's not forget all the other teams that were trying to take the advantage of the power play. That helped them quite a bit as well. And you know what, Scared? Recently, I've been looking at you, texting someone quite a bit. So you've got a lot of data and apps on your phone, and maybe you want to protect them. So you should check out the Google Play Protect. What do you think?
I mean, lucky for me that I do use the Android phone as well. So yeah. That's all perfectly protected, and I'm going to make sure I keep my phone away from you. But you know, one thing is definitely for sure that you can't really keep Godlike away from their fame itself, because they've earned it right now with the performance that Admino and Punk pulled. Yeah, this team, they are ready to face all the rest of the members.
Of course they indeed are, but we've got the stars of the match on the screen popping up. It is Admino with 5 finishes and 0 knockouts, and of course he's also going to be the MVP since he was someone who was going all out.
True.
But Hero Extreme Godlike, as I mentioned, this was a desperately needed chicken dinner. They got it, but teams like Global Esports too, they were able to make quite a bit of impact in that previous game, including FS Esports as well. But let's have a look at the never settled OnePlus moments.
And the fun fact, you're talking about the teams that eventually made an impact on the previous one. Genesis was the first name that popped up my mind. A lot of things happening.
Yeah.
K9 fighting around them against Likitha Esports as well. But they made sure that they have got certain positioning. They were in certain positions where they could still take those fights, eventually take the rest of the members down as well. So not a good position points for them, but at least they got a lot of eliminations out there. But this is where the main moment was. Punk eventually getting 3 players from 8-Bit down on their knees thanks to Simb getting one down and damaging the next.
And Punk also firing a few shots against 8-Bit. He did have those choice of words to say. He did say something like, if I remove I and I can add a different letter. So I'm not exactly sure what he wanted to add there, but one thing is for sure, he did not mean it in a nice way. But we've got the match rankings popping up on the screen. 20 points in total for Hero Extreme Godlike. That's a way to kick things off inside of the day too, and that's also going to put them on quite a decent bit of spot in the overall standings. But the latter half of the board is where the real concerns start to rise. True Ripper's getting 0 points. Likitha Esports getting 0 points. Victorious Sumus, a team that got eliminated by Global Esports, getting just 1 total point.
That's the big problem out there happening for all of these teams out. But all in all, you know, still there's absolutely no change in top 4, right? Even after this game. FS, though, eventually moving up with one more game to play that they have right now. Moving on to that 5th position. They're going to be pretty happy about it, right? Because their group is going to play extra matches today. So overall, they've got 3 more remaining right now. As we move on to the next page, the competition is pretty tight. Out of all the 8 teams that we see on our screen, the point difference is literally of 2. Starting from 22, ending at 20. So anything can change. Anyone can go up on top. It eventually is going to fall down to just 1 extra elimination.
Exactly. This is what the best part is about the overall standings in the early and the late phases, right? It's extremely fragile. But look at the latter half of the board. Look at the last page. You will see quite the big names. Mad Kings, Reckoning Esports, Metal Esports on the last page right there. Phoenix Esports on the last spot. I do not know what's going on with Phoenix Esports. It's a team with a lot of potential, but still for some reason the performance is missing, and maybe the performance will be back after this one short break. You guys do not go anywhere. We'll be right back.
R is for RAM on roids. A 12 gigabyte ramped up, run on all engines, upgraded, and a world resigned to 8 gig. Ridiculously ripped. Raise the stakes with a ruthless dozen. Ready to raid. Write faster, roll smoother. Reach higher with a refuse-to-die battery. Every app, every activity. Rep, 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 rep. If it's in your radius, R keeps it on rotation. OnePlus 13R. R is ours.
How did we go from bathtub to battleground?
Gemini on Android, bro. Anything can happen.
Press to create videos.
Only on Android.
So, yeah, I mean, good luck trying to survive in the slow-paced game. You have to make sure that you utilize the power play.
There's a reason why the power-ups are given in the first place, right? If you do not use it, someone else will. And if they do, well, they'll make sure that they're using it to the maximum potential and at least keeping themselves pinned in that first half of the board. Power-ups are so important that even if you're not doing good in a tournament and if there are no way you can make a comeback, using those power-ups, you can easily mount a comeback and place yourself in quite a decent spot. Let's not forget, there's two more power-ups yet to be applied. We're speaking of bounty and impact layer, and that will just get absolutely insane the moment those two power-ups will be applied too. But without wasting any more time, we straight up jump inside of the second game of the day, which will be the map Miramar, as the plane's gonna hit the skies once again, starting all the way from Puerto Paraíso towards the opposite side, which will be La Trilera.
I'm pretty sure that God's Reign sitting on the outside, right? They're not really playing in these two games, would be grabbing their heads right now, because both the flight paths, one on the Erangel and one here right now, eventually is passing away from their favorite drop location too. But yeah, as we've been constantly talking about how it's southern flight path, that means the teams would want to go towards north, maybe Truck Stop, El Hazar, Hacienda. They're going to be facing a lot of problems. Super southern tilted flight path out here. Chumasera is again going to be a place where we might possibly see a couple of teams dropping in as well. Around Los Leones too. Genesis taking their early exit all the way over towards the down south part. And that's also where Global Esports, or rather Reckoning Esports, are standing.
Indeed. At this point in time, it feels like Los Leones is going to be the heavy favorite. A lot of teams gliding over Los Leones. FS Esports dropping down towards Los Leones. Likitha Esports and Genesis locking horns. And this time, it's one of those fights that we never know what the outcome's going to be.
Scrappy. Just the pistols out in the hands, Hunters. We've known this man to be an absolute beast when he's got the shotgun on, when he's got the rifle on. But what are you going to do right now? Viraj needs to go do something for his team. But it's Hunters with the pistol. Not just one. Gets two of them out there. Likitha Esports answer back as well. But it doesn't matter. They've already lost 3 members out there, and it's only 1 remaining.
Yeah, the damage is done. Final man for Likitha Esports. He tried to make the run, but that run was not enough. And off the rip, Likitha Esports might be taken care of. There's still 1 man. He's in the upper floor. And finally, Genesis Esports, now 2 players reunite. Want to barrel stuff the final man down. Not a lot of bullets in the magazine for Siraj. Only 4 bullets, but there is a pump shotgun available in the hands of Yash. 1 single pump on the chest, and the man will be done for. And that's what happens. Yash eliminates the existence. And Genesis Esports, that's 8 points at the start. A dream start for Genesis.
How dare I doubt Hunters? 2 of the openers with a damn pistol in his hand. Reminds me of last year on BGMS when we saw a 1v4 with a pistol against Wildfangs, if I'm not wrong. And that one compound down towards the military base, you know, a lot of memories being replenished out there for a lot of people. But Genesis, this team was known to play it slow. This team was known to have that calm, cool, controlling mindset out there. But with how the entire format is for BGMS, this team is adapting very, very quickly.
And I guess one of the best possible things for Genesis Esports is that they've always been aggressive. And that's also helping them quite a bit inside of BGMS Season 4. Once again, the playoffs. There's something that everyone wants to stay away from.
True.
And power play is something that can help you stay away from the playoffs. And that's why Genesis Esports is constantly taking advantage of it. And something that you guys should take the advantage of is also going to be the Google Play Protect. Keep your apps and data safe. One thing is for sure, Scare needs that quite a bit these days.
I'm not the only one out here, man. Pretty sure I can see the smoke on your face as well.
Oh, Mad Kings. This time, they can be driven mad by K9.
But Beast has been on the struggling end since quite a long time now. I haven't really seen him pop off like before the team.
Well, honestly speaking, it feels like the entirety of K9 aren't really playing the way they're supposed to play.
True.
And I guess it's all planned. That's how K9 Esports likes to do things. K9 Esports is always someone that you will never see on the consistent side of things. They will always come in with a burst of action, a massive game, and instantly propel themselves on the top of the board. That's how K9 Esports has always been, and that's what K9 Esports is all about.
That's exactly what happened in one of the previous events as well.
It's that one game. Just that one game. And after that, K9 Esports start playing passive once again. And K9 is not made for passive gameplay. I'm going to be honest. K9 Esports is one of those teams that are just not meant to be passive. And this is what's going to happen.
Beast again. It just seems like that dude was out in the open. He was waiting for Clutch God to find that flank angle since Shadow was constantly giving the information.
Yeah, and the only reason why he got taken down in the first place, it's because of his teammates weren't there.
Not even close.
Yep. So, that's the problem with K9. And for some reason, it feels like Omega's doing this on purpose. It feels like Omega is trying to keep something a secret.
Fair, considering you're going to also have bounty and then eventually impact players, so you can get a lot of points by just
better
once.
Give that impact player to Ninja Boy. He's been one of the most consistent fraggers in K9 Esports. But hold on to that thought. Los Hermanos against Global Esports. Previous game from Global Esports was great, but this game as well, they do want to pretty much take it down to the same track. Crore is taking a lot of shots upon himself, but it's on his vehicle. Wow. No flesh connection yet. Crore's safe. He's going to back away towards his teammates, but at the end of the spectrum, he's also exposing himself a bit too much, and Crore gets capitalized. Position compromised, the man gets decapitated. He's knocked out. Global Esports, 2 more men standing. Can these 2 players really clutch it out? MyG lost Hermanos. All the 4 players on the deck, waiting to eliminate, devour Global Esports. But Global Esports, they're not going to give up that easily yet. They still have a fight left in them, but here's another twist. There's a third party. So MyG lost Hermanos as well. Now needs to be careful because they can be caught in a pickle situation. Luckily enough, they eliminate Global Esports. Now they can completely focus on the team that was right there behind them.
Instead, 8 points coming in for the team as well, but they want to make sure that they survive out here. Getting the revival in is going to be the top priority out right now. Global Esports, Manya and the boys getting eliminated. That's a very, very heartbreaking start for them. Spray God, we've known this man to have an insane form yesterday as well. Even during the interview, we were talking about the exact same thing, how his consistency was impeccable. 9 finishes he had in one entire game. And Global Esports propelled themselves in top 5 instantly after that. Rough start right now, and this was also the last game that they had today. They're not going to play any more games now. It's going to be 4 games tomorrow.
Considering the standing, they aren't doing too bad. So it's okay. Fine, something they can afford. But oh boy, what was that shot from Scout? Samraj knocked out. An opening for the players of Metal Esports. And look at Venom. He's got the bus. Oh boy, this is why you gotta love Metal Esports. They don't think twice. They just straight up do it. This aggressive push from Metal Esports. They do want to capitalize against the players of 8-Bit and punish them since they're quite hurt. There is Termi in the backlines creating the off angle. Raiden's got no clue that Termi has the off angle. He goes for the shots, but the shots are not enough to get a knock. Termi, this off angle could have been massive, but he messed up. He was not able to make the most of it. Venom. Oh my god. He's got some evil plans. Venom actually has the high ground. Oh my god, he can control the tempo of the fight, but he messes up. Raiden, he had the line of sight. And instantly, Metal Esports' high ground, it gets taken away, stolen away. Scout underneath, he's taken down extremely low. I highly doubt he can fight back now. And one single shot, and hit Scout. And also a dagger, assaults on top of the wounds to eliminate Scout OP from this game. Has power. Oh boy, showcasing his power in this fight. 8-Bit taking care of Metal Esports like they were never a threat.
Disconnected like anything. Either Middle are overconfident in their players, or it's just a communication issue out there. Pushing up with a couple of players, and that was an absolute blunder from Venom. Yeah, even though he went up, got the high ground, but he did not realize that there was one more player who had a clear line of sight on him. Big problems coming in though, but that's exactly what 8-Bit needed. That's what they needed to make sure that they will propel themselves back up in the momentum which they had lost. But holy smokes, we had that look onto the circle itself. All the way towards the top left right now, and that has kind of forced the members who are all the way towards those eastern frays to move towards the western areas right now. Oh, lovely. Yeah.
Oh my god.
GG's.
He's trying to get that finish point. Oh, it misses.
It doesn't even matter. He'll get it either ways.
Yeah, I mean, they will get it eventually. But Termi, the final man for Metal Esports. This time, someone else has got their line of sight locked onto him. Termi, he needs to be the Terminated. But will he really be able to terminate the players? A quick 2-piece converted, Termi! Terminating the contracts and their lives at the same time. But oh boy, he gets stopped. MyG lost Hermanos still intact.
Safe is what we'll say again. They had 8 points all the way up in power play as well, as they instantly took down Global Esports in the fight against them. getting in one extra elimination. And Mighty Los Hermanos have also changed their playstyle as you compare it from yesterday, right? This team were on a very different route and very different route out here. Punk, there's no route left for this man out. He's got to heal himself back up and get back in his vehicle to run back.
Sad life.
He tried to take the shots against Victorious, if I'm not wrong. Eventually face some retaliating fire too.
It's the hot lands of Miramar. And sometimes your throat can dry up too. So make sure to drink a Bisleri, so you can be hydrated throughout the entire battlefield. But back towards the game once again. Team Aryan in the smack center. I like that control. But Team Aryan was not someone who took the advantage of the power play. They did not go for that power up.
Yep.
And now, since Team Aryan has opted to play control oriented, which means Team Aryan's not going to be playing with a lot of threat either. They're not going to be playing with a lot of risk. They're going to try to play it as passive and as safe as possible. And since they're also in the smack center, even if they do go for a fight, there will be a lot of eyes attracted towards them. So it does not really make sense to create a lot of ruckus in the smack center.
It just feels like at this point, this team likes to play on those high grounds, regardless of where they are in the circle. Because normally, we were seeing them play on the northwestern fray, even on the map of Miramar. Yesterday, when we were seeing similar kind of circles, they were playing onto those hills over towards the northwestern part. Even today on Erangel, we saw them doing the exact same things. But right now, it's completely shifted. They're playing with the 2-2 split around the power grid. A couple of players.
He just found a supercar in the middle of the street, abandoned.
And he's still picking an Uzi.
Yeah.
UAZ rather.
Don't you wish that happened IRL too?
I wish for a lot of things, but they don't really happen.
Yeah.
I think so. At this point, I might need a burger of ₹99, but Swiggy can do that for me.
Yeah. That's one of those wishes that can be granted. But Phoenix Esports, Oven and Jutton. Oh boy, they want to sneak up. They want to surprise that man of 4TR. But can this push really be executed? No, it's going to be the answer. There's no way they can make the climb. So for Phoenix Esports, they probably just want to keep themselves tucked underneath this mountain. Or maybe they want to bait out a peek. So the moment Zekot peeks out and goes for the shots, the players in the far fray can instantly get the trade.
I don't feel like Phoenix Esports should stay out there on the hills. Because this blue is also closing in. The circle will shift away from them. And regardless of how much
And 8-Bit has probably went for the right moment. They do want a third party. They can hear a lot of gunshots. But since now those gunshots are quiet, 8-Bit's going to retract. Back away. But there is still S-Power on top, off the mountain. Shots will be taken against him. S-Power suppressed, at least for now. Hero Extreme Godlike in a bit of a trouble. At Mino, he senses the man, and he eliminates Spy.
Mighty Los Hermanos eventually taken out. Godlike only losing on Jonathan as he went in a bit too aggressive. The overextension being punished. And Now he's got to sit and watch his team from the sidelines again. I'd have to say, Simp being the supporter of the team, he made sure that Godlike eventually survives that fight because he was the one who suppressed his power, who was on top of that hill. And right now, you got to try and find a way to suppress Clutch God, and guess what? Rest 12k of Hunters is exactly what he needs. Yeah. Mad King's taking the fight, but it's the Night Watch on the other side.
Apollo's also getting shot at from the sidelines. Hunter's in the front, exposed. The man was completely unaware of the angle that Apollo had. And Mad Kings, yeah, they've done enough inside of this game. 7 finishes already racked up, and I'm pretty sure a few of those were taken in the power play too. So Mad Kings, I guess they've done decent. 7 points per game is the average if you want to keep yourself outside of the playoffs and in a decent spot in the overall standings. Reckoning Esports, so far they have been going through a rough patch, not doing too good in the overall standings either. It's a team with a lot of potential, but still waiting for the right moment, the right opportunity, and this game of Miramar can be it. Team Aryan, they've got a decent spread. Once again, that same control play style is being executed by Team Aryan.
Yeah.
And here's the thing, Team Aryan can execute this playstyle in BGMS without a doubt, because most of the teams are focused on taking fights. But in a proper game where the power-up cards are not there, this playstyle is going to be tough to be executed by Team Aryan.
That's true, but good thing that there are a lot of power-ups.
Yep.
It's going to last for the entire event. Longer than the forms of some of the teams, but still seeing a lot of them.
You gotta take names. There's no way you can just leave it hanging like that.
You know who I'm talking about.
Directed towards.
You know who I'm talking about, and I'm not revealing that.
No, just do it.
Just say it. I love my career.
What? No, you're just putting your opinion out there. I don't think it's going to be affecting anything. It's fine. We're human beings. We've got our own opinions.
Say that to the public, but Blue's going to hit onto the edges now, the circle. I'm thinking it's going to take a central shift as well. Almost the empty grounds out there. Going down southwest. Aryan are going to find themselves in the best spot possible out there. Even True Rippers, after a long time, you know, they've been trying to get those third parties. Haven't really been getting a lot of success there. Constantly being taken down in those fights. Maybe this could be the game where they can boost themselves up.
The zone shift towards the southern side. Reckoning Esports finally finding themselves a decent bit of spot. And it's also the high ground to play with. So Reckoning Esports, oh boy, this is probably a dream come true for them.
Yep.
Great spot right behind the players of Team Aryan. Aryan is isolated all by himself. And there's that one man of Reckoning Esports constantly driving around that spot. 4TR official. All the 4 players safe. Looking pretty decent so far. In this high ground they've acquired. Soon they will need to leave this and get outside of their comfort zone. And that's where maybe a few problems will start to stack up. 6 teams have already been eliminated. 10 more stay alive. Hero Extreme Godlike once again with a 3-man squad. It feels like now that's Lucky Charm. If they've got 3 players, they do really good. Team Aryan, those shots, they did find the connections. And Simp was taken down pretty low. Punk is exposed. He's got no clue. The back is exposed. But Henry, oh, that was the opportunity. He should have capitalized. That should have been a knock right there. Really? And it would have been a knock if he had the M416.
Could have definitely been. Right now, it's going to be Admino. It's going to be firing a lot of shots onto Apollo as well. Rotating, making a mad dash out there in the middle of nowhere. But still, Godlike, they're going to try and hold their position down as Apollo goes right into the arms of Reckoning. Team Aryan as well, holding their ground down on the other side as Punk sees the players. But really not getting any kind of major knock out there. It's not even a trifecta anymore right now. It's just teams taking fight on every single front without really winning even a single one of them. It's 8-bit as well who are joining the mix.
Oh, look at that nade. Flock. Right on his toes. Apollo. Keep this thing in mind. He's the only man surviving from his team. And this one man is now being a menace to the players of Reckoning Esports as he finds Dionysus too.
What?
Apollo, he's eating Reckoning Esports alive. And he's the only man. Oh, but that nade from Viper's going to end the day for Apollo. But he's done enough.
Yeah.
That's 8 points right there. And once again, a consistent ending. K9 Esports eliminated by 8-bit too. What happened over here as well? Oh boy, confusing endings.
Just, we're joining every single fight after it's eventually getting over out there. But that drone view showed it perfectly. The Team Aryan had the line of sight as well, which eventually helped them out though. But it's Victorious Sumus who've seen this third party, who are now trying to jump in as well as the fourth one to take them down. Picture perfect play coming in from Oasis as well as they take care of 8-bit, not losing a single member, not even down on the knees.
A perfect third party when they knew that 8-bit was hurt. They went in and eliminated 8-bit. Victorious Sumus, now they have cleared quite a bit of a ground for themselves. And they can actually move in from that same territory, get closer to that centric part. True Rippers, the first game was bad. Second game needs to be converted. This time around, Hydro, this guy tossing utilities in the hopes of finding at least one connection. He gets the confirmation on towards Z-God. 4TR, not the ideal way they wanted to start the fight, but 4TR official, I like this split. INF got all the way towards the left. His job is to create an off angle and surprise the players of True Rippers. But is that really going to come into fruition? That's the main question. True Rippers, yes, they're getting chipped on. But just chip damage is not enough. They need a knockout. They need an equalizer.
4TR have themselves been on the struggling end. Just like two teams who are struggling now, trying to fight against each other to see which one is better. And the nade is an absolute crazy start that they needed. 4TR. Pain just not only demolishing Pain on the other side, but he's making sure he's executing them one after the other. Can he get the third one as well? Yes, he does. Superman out in the mix as Morty gets the confirmation. True Rippers being destroyed by 4TR.
Obliterated. Dominated. That's what you call that. But Hero Extreme Godlike now, it's their time to be dominated by Team Aryan. And it should be a cakewalk. Admino, the man in the back. Hero Extreme Godlike, once again, the lost out on Jonathan quite early. Simp was taken down in the mid-pack, and now just the final two men. And what was that movement? In the end, Admino does get caught by the players of Reckoning Esports.
It's insane. I mean, man was dodging all the bullets. Neo out there in the Matrix, but...
Yeah, but he should have dodged that elimination. But you can't really blame him.
Yeah, but it's open from every single ground.
Yeah, it's the entire team's fault.
Exactly. Not really the best possible ground to hold on. They had to force the fight against Team Aryan early on now to try and avoid this third party which happened right now. And there's the thing, they did not really get enough time because even 8-bit was there, then Reckoning were always around the fray. That could have shown up any time. It's just that Godlike eventually finding themselves in an unfortunate position at unfortunate timings. We've heard about right fights, wrong timings. This was wrong fights, wrong timings.
Victorious Sumus.
Henry.
Pro's knocked out. And right now, the only thing they really need to take care of is this hemorrhage. Stop it. Pin is live in the front. On the lower ground. The man's pinned behind this cliff. And Cheyenne is constantly being bothered by that one player. He wants to take him down, and that's the only time when Cheyenne can actually look away from that spot. His job is to get rid of that flank. Chutin, solo man surviving from Phoenix Esports, and yes, they've finally gotten another point.
I mean, it's not a single elimination out here, dude. Every single point that they're getting has been a position point, and they've only got one till now.
I agree with you. For some reason, it feels like Phoenix Esports just forgot how to play BGMS.
It just
straight up.
Yeah, they can't really pull the trigger at this point, man. Every single bullet is going afray, or maybe landing onto their own player's head.
I haven't even seen them shoot. But Victorious Sumus, Pro, and Cheyenne. Ois is there to get the revival on for Cheyenne. Victorious Sumus, luckily enough, they've got all the men still standing. Runs out of bullets. Pro does want to get the knockout, but Pain is live. He's somehow going to make it alive. It's all good. 4TR still somehow waving their flag high.
Look at Henry's positioning out there. He could eventually be a big player for the team, or he could be one of the wrong position players, but he makes it big. Makes sure that he closes in the gap as well. Gets a knockdown out in the open too. So now Victorious Sumus are going to be on the receiving end. Can't really give the revival to Owace as well. Lovely timing by Henry.
Solid. Team Aryan. Now they know the players and the teams right underneath them can actually possess a bit of that threat, but at least they were able to handicap one of them. Able to take away that one player. Henry on top of this hill. This high ground, it's massive. It's going to give him a lot of advantage. There's also Morty from 4TR right on the opposite fray.
Oh my
Victorious Sumus, they've got too much on their plate. Thunder right underneath that one guy, Henry. But Team Aryan, oh, Devotee just never saw this coming. He did not know that there's a guy inside of the shack. But eventually, that one pixel angle left open, and Cyrax strikes him down.
It's big.
Team Aryan, yeah, they've only got 2 men standing, but there's a chance they can actually seal the deal and get this chicken dinner just because of Henry. He's got the prime spot.
He actually does have the prime spot out there right now, and he's still going to be staying in the circle and on the edge. And Henry is still trying to fire shots in the open, but he missed every single one of them. No, this should not have happened. Not from Henry. This was the perfect opportunity to try and take down the members of Victorious Sumus. And had he done that, the advantage would have been in his team's favor.
You know what? Let's give him the benefit of the doubt. He's using the FAMAS, all right? Let's give him the benefit of the doubt.
Look at me in the eye and say that again.
He was not using his comfort weapon,
You're
my
not
friend.
looking at me in the eye while saying that.
The comfort weapon is M416. Listen, I just don't want to hate him for that. All right? It's fine.
It's
happens.
twice
we
in
all
this
whiff.
game.
We all whiff. It's fine. We all have that moment. It's not like just because of that one play, it put the players of Team Aryan in a bad spot, right? They're still in a good spot. They can still continue to dominate. But he just needs to make sure it's not going to happen again.
Your throat itself is not helping you out, my friend. But you know what? All right, let's see. If in case they somehow find a way to redeem themselves. And I think so this one high ground that both of the players are playing on can eventually help them out. There's still 4TR out. Pain is live, is lurking all the way down south. Morty just around that drop as well, little bit away. But I really like Henry now. He's put the weapon. And he can eventually use it for that long range. Oh my god. Land in that snipe shot. Come on.
It's going to be tough.
Oh
The players aquatic exposed out in the open. Come on, Henry. Connect one shot. You can do it, I believe. Oh, he's missing shots after shots.
Take your time, my boy. Take as much time as you want, but please connect that shot.
Reckoning Esports is unaware. Oh, he's taking those shots constantly. He's able to spot the players too.
Throw the weapon back a bit, please. Just keep it down.
Yeah, I mean,
it's on.
I kind of feel bad for Henry though. I mean, he's gonna get knocked out. There's no way. Oh no, Henry! It's a rough spot to be in. He tried his best, but the shots were not able to connect. Henry knocked out. A spot where Team Aryan could have actually won the game from is now turned into a disadvantage because it's taken away from them. And Team Aryan, they won't even be able to stay alive for too long inside of this game now. Victorious Sumus is the only team that can stop Reckoning Esports and their domination in this final moment. Cheyenne right underneath. And Viper, he's got the number. Tosses out an aid. But that's not going to be enough to get the knockout.
Oh my god. Lovely shot right now, Viper again. Gets a knock on the pro. Long back, as you mentioned too, and it's down to the 2v2 scenario. It's almost a similar thing that happened yesterday against Manya and Aru in that one shack, the high and low, but Manya had all the advantage in the world at that point. This is the different map, and this is a different scenario with different teams right now, but it's Reckoning who decided to move up front now. Thunder instantly taken down, and what a call coming in, but it's the long range, the shot still lands, and it's the Wolves to take the chicken.
Reckoning Esports, a long-awaited chicken dinner finally converted by them. And this will be the lead that Reckoning Esports wanted to take in the overall standings. This chicken dinner did come late, but it finally did. And when it did come, Reckoning Esports, now they have placed themselves in quite a decent spot. And this is the momentum Reckoning Esports was probably searching for. Yes, always not exactly happy with his teammates, not exactly happy with the results, but still Victorious Summers got the most out of the position they were given.
Had to make that push, they had to make that mad dash, considering 4DR were constantly there, up and down of them. They didn't really want to get caught in the pincer as well, and Team RN2 up on the high ground. Every single thing was against the members of Victorious Summers, but eventually still managed to get that second spot, though. Every head must bow against Reckoning for this one game right now. Phenomenal performance. Not really. Yeah, just those two members. And Henry could have destroyed them.
He could have. He actually could have. He had all the right. He had the weaponry as well.
He had the scope.
Yeah, he had everything. He had all the right to destroy them. But unfortunately, he ran out of bullets on his assault rifle. For now, it's time for us to toss to a short break. Do not go anywhere. We'll be right back.
R is for RAM on roids. A 12GB ramped up, run on all engines, upgraded in a world resigned to 8 gig. Ridiculously ripped. Raise the stakes with a ruthless dozen. Ready to raid. Write faster, roll smoother. Reach higher with a refuse to die battery. Every app, every activity. Rep, 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 rep. If it's in your radius, R keeps it on rotation. OnePlus 13R. R is ours.
Bro, we're about to drop.
Just a second. I need to finish this video.
Ask Gemini on Android, it will give highlights.
Press for key highlights.
Only on Android.
TVS Raider, the wicked ride.
Real MVPs are not born, they practice every day. For OP moves on the field and in life.
Duolingo English Test. Proud supporters of dreamers and doers.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Reckoning Esports finally got what they were searching for, and it was a chicken dinner. They were not doing too good before that previous game, but now I'm pretty sure they have placed themselves in a decent spot in the overall standings. And yeah, Reckoning Esports, as I mentioned, that's what they were looking for. Team Aryan could have converted that game too, but I generally think Victorious Summers, they got the most out of the position they were given. They did not really have that good of a power position in the first place, so they did make it to top 2. I still think it's quite a good ending.
I'm pretty sure that they're going to be pretty happy about that, right? Because their players were eventually protected. I'm pretty sure that they were protected by the Google Play Protect, because it keeps your apps and data safe, ladies and gentlemen. With all the Android phone, it comes with that, so you don't want to miss out on that. And since we've been talking about all of that, let's have a look at the MVP of the previous one, because it's going to be Hunters, though. 5 finishes for this man from Genesis Esports, and Genesis have been on the aggressive end.
Yeah, they indeed have been. 5 finishes racked up. Then you've also got Spy right there from IG Los Hermanos getting 3 rescues. And Max as well from Reckoning Esports getting 2 finishes. I'm pretty sure even though Los Hermanos got eliminated so early inside of the game, they did have a lot of power play points.
Yeah.
And that might be one of the main reasons why we might see Los Hermanos at least in the top 5 of that game.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure that they were taking down Global Esports as well right in the early on fight too. So they had total, 8 points overall because of the power play and everything.
And the fact that Apollo was able to take down 2 players of Reckoning Esports and still Reckoning Esports ended up winning that entire game is just mind-boggling. And yeah, we did see that dagger to death as well. Scout got eliminated by his power.
Production is absolutely nasty for literally starting the highlights with that. I'll have to give that to you boys because we had the highlights of global esports too, but that's not you choose. All right, but it's absolutely fine, right? Having a look at the match rankings as well. It's going to be Reckoning up on top. 16 points in total. Not a lot out there since we're constantly seeing 20 points. We've been talking about Victorious Service, MyG lost Hermanos. We see both of them in the top 5.
You've also got Victorious Summers, as you mentioned, getting 13 points. Genesis Esports getting 12 points. Los Hermanos getting 10. 4TR getting 10 as well. That's quite a decent position, in my opinion, from 4TR. Even Mad King's getting 9 points. And Team Aryan, okay, jokes apart, they did not do terrible. They did not do too bad in that game. 9 points is still quite a decent ending for them since the game 1 as well was quite good.
If you're really considering that, you know, with the potential that this team has shown in one of the previous few tournaments, yeah, I'm pretty sure 9 points, they can do much better
of course,
than that.
Expectations are going to be a lot more, right? Since they are, of course, the official tournament champions.
Exactly.
So you are going to expect them to perform a lot better. But I guess Team Aryan, they know it's also a marathon. They do not really need to bring out all the cards off the rip like that. It's just the day 2 of the league stage. There's still, what, like 19 more days to go? And in those 19 days, Team Aryan can pull out anything they want. And at least for now, Team Aryan's not doing too bad. They're currently inside of the top 8, sitting with 31 points. That's quite a solid standing.
Yeah, just 14 points behind overall if you're really talking about the first placing team as well. So I think so they're going to be pretty happy about it. But since all the teams have now played 4 of their games right now, Hero Extreme, Godlike as well, they were above, but right now dropping down onto 9th, 8-bit on 10th. Both of these teams have got 29 points. But here's the thing, just one chicken dinner from any team all the way down till True Rippers, and they can eventually bounce back. And not just True Rippers, I'd have to say, even God's Reign. This team is on the 21st place, yes, but they still have 16 points. So I think so. There could be a possibility where they can make that bounce back too. But when it comes to Likitha Esports, when it comes to Phoenix Esports, right, that's where the trouble begins. And Phoenix, I'm pretty sure that they don't have any games today now.
And that's the crazy part, right? Especially speaking about a team like Phoenix Esports. This is a team that has consistently made it to the LAN finals of the official tournament.
Exactly.
So you expect a lot more. Yes, I do understand the IGL's changed. That means pretty much like the major playstyle of the team as well has changed. But you've still got 3 great players in your lineup. You've got Golden, you've got Jatin right there, you've also got Owen in the mix. And these 3 players, they have a great history. They can do a lot more.
I mean, if you're talking about history out here right now, right, I actually want to talk about a bit more English and specifically the Duolingo English test out there. It's accepted by 6,000 universities. What? Yes, exactly. That Duolingo English test is something that you can take, Necro. And I'm pretty sure Shadow mentioned about this to you. You might as well want to go for it.
More than us, let's just recommend it to the viewers, right? Let's ask them to take the English test and let us know what score did you guys get in that Duolingo English test. We'll be over here waiting. You guys can hit us on social medias as well. It's Necro right here. It's Scared Yet. You guys can let us know on our social medias. Tag us in your stories. But you know what? Back towards the conversation that we're having right now. The upcoming games, they're once again going to be extremely important since we're almost done with the halfway point of the day. And speaking of the halfway point, now it's time for us to toss to a short interview on towards the stage. So let's move on towards that.
They just kept saying special person, special person. Jitna time मैंने यहाँ पे बिताया है, I've not seen a more flamboyant, a more flair player than S Power. Confidence, मतलब इस jersey के नीचे अगर t-shirt पहन रखी है तो confidence की होगी. Where does that come from?
Confidence मेरे को खुद पे है, खुद पे believe है कि हाँ मेरा गेम प्ले है और बाकी भगवान ने भी अच्छा टैलेंट दिया है, तो बस उस पर वर्क करता हूँ मैं, हार्ड वर्क करता हूँ, तो इन शॉर्ट कॉन्फिडेंस आ जाता है कि मतलब जब मैं मेहनत कर रहा हूँ, भगवान साथ है, टैलेंट दिया है भगवान ने, तो मेहनत के साथ वो कॉन्फिडेंस आ ही जाता है.
ओके, सीजन 4 में परफॉर्मेंस की बात कर लेते हैं. एक एस्पेक्ट जहां ऐसा लग रहा है कि 8-बिट और अच्छा कर सकता है इज द पावर प्ले. आप पूरा फायदा नहीं उठा पा रहे हो. व्हाट्स द रीजन बिहाइंड दैट?
पावर प्ले का हम लोग अभी तक फ़ायदा इसलिए नहीं उठा रहे हैं क्योंकि हम लोग अभी अडेप्ट कर रहे हैं अभी, क्योंकि आगे जाके इम्पैक्ट प्लेयर, बाउंटी टीम वो सब आने वाला है. हम लोग फाइट्स पे फोकस कर रहे हैं और फाइट्स पे फोकस करना आएगा. इस फर्स्ट सेकंड जोन में फ़ायदा है नहीं क्योंकि थर्ड पार्टी आ जाती है, तो हम लोग एंड जोन तक ट्राई कर रहे हैं कि एंड जोन जाके कोई एक अच्छा सा फाइट ले जहाँ पे हम लोग अपना कम्युनिकेशन और इम्प्रूव कर पाए. और नया एडिशन भी आया है तो उसके साथ मतलब कॉल आउट्स वगैरह, टीम वर्क बिठाने के लिए हम लोग थोड़ा ये सब पे फोकस कर रहे हैं पावर प्ले के छोड़ के, तो आने वाले टाइम में भी हम लोग दिखेंगे पावर प्ले।
यू सेड टीम वर्क, और आपकी टीम में एक ऐसा प्लेयर मौजूद है जिसके बारे में सब लोग उत्सुक हैं, एंड दैट इज बीस्ट। कहाँ से ढूंढ निकाला? बिकॉज नाम बीस्ट है बट यू हैव अनअर्थ्ड अ डायमंड।
बीस्ट के साथ आई गेस सोमराज पहले खेल चुका है, आई गेस वो VST का प्लेयर था, तो उन लोगों ने मेरे को बताया कि अच्छा प्लेयर है, और जब टीम में आया जेन्युइनली वो अच्छा है, अच्छे फ्रैग्स निकाल रहा है, बट लैक वही कर रहा है कि हम लोग का टीम वर्क, क्योंकि उसको हमारा पेज समझने में और हमको उसका पेज समझने में टाइम लगता है, तो टाइम के साथ वो भी होपफुली हो जाएगा। बाकी इज अ वेरी गुड फ्रैगर आई वुड से।
Bro, every year that I've met you, कुछ ना कुछ बदलाव देखने को मिला है, बाल लंबे हो गए हैं। The other thing that has changed is the jersey. So क्या अगले साल 8-bit या you know what I mean?
मैं कुछ बोलना नहीं चाहूँगा, क्योंकि ये वाले लड़के अच्छे हैं यार, कुछ गेम के बाद चीज़ें करते हैं नहीं, तो जब तक गेम के बाद सब सॉर्टेड है तब तक मैं यहीं पे हूँ, बट अगर कुछ होगा भी तो पता चल जाएगा।
Past is past, everything else is history. Shh, we take a break. Match 3 coming up on your screens now.
R is for RAM on roids, a 12GB ramped up, run on all engines upgraded in a world resigned to 8 gig. Ridiculously ripped. Raise the stakes with a ruthless dozen. Ready to raid. Write faster, roll smoother. Reach higher with a refuse to die battery. Every app, every activity. Rep, 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 rep. If it's in your radius, R keeps it on rotation. OnePlus 13R. R is ours.
How did we go from bathtub to battleground?
Gemini on Android, bro. Anything can happen.
Press to create videos.
Only on Android.
TVS Raider, the wicked ride.
Real MVPs are not born. They practice every day. For OP moves on the field and in life.
Duolingo English Test. Proud supporters of dreamers and doers.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Welcome back after that short break, and now it's Shadow with me on the panel. Shadow, I'm pretty sure you were sitting in the back lines looking at those first two games, and today it seems like it is the day of comebacks. All the teams that were there on the latter half of the board finally getting the momentum that was expected from them.
Well, especially Godlike Esports as well, because yesterday Hero Extreme Godlike was somewhere at the bottom of the leaderboard. Even the players of FS and BS, they have started staging a comeback.
Without a doubt they have. But you know, a while ago I was having a conversation with Scaredian, and I told him that he's having a lot of data and apps on his phones these days especially, so he should protect it with Google Play Protect, and he's someone that is now installing it. So I would recommend you guys as well, the viewers of the English broadcast, to check it out to keep your apps and data safe. But back towards the conversation that we're having, now we've got a different group in the mix. We've also got teams like OG, Soul, TWOB, Revenant, X-Park. Yesterday, Revenant, X-Park started things off with an absolute bang. You've also got God's Dream now back inside of the mix. NINZAs, one of the most consistent teams out there. All of these heavy fraggers are now in the lobby. I think the games are now going to be even more exciting.
For sure, they are going to be very exciting, especially if you remember iQOO Soul. They also pulled off a 1v4 Joker, doing a 1v4 against the players of Hero Extreme Godlike. That was the highlight moment. In fact, that was the game of Sanhok as well. And now iQOO Soul again coming back in the map of Sanhok. I'm expecting a banger performance from their side. But you mentioned Revenant X Park. Consistency has always been a problem for Revenant X Park. So let's hope this day 2 also gives them good enough points.
Without a doubt, consistency has been a problem not just for Revenant X Park, a lot more other teams. Today we did see comebacks from teams like Reckoning Esports and Hero Extreme Godlike, but here's the main question. The consistency, will they be able to keep it up, or will we see that consistency fizzle out and we might just see them being toppled by all the other teams on the board?
Let's see, let's hope for the best, but few other players also need the consistency, like the players of Marcos Gaming, because if you remember, yesterday in the map of Sanhok, they were able to pull off a chicken dinner, but in the first game and the second game, they were not having that great points in their hands. So in the overall leaderboard, Marcos Gaming also need to be very consistent if they want to stay in the top 8 or top 16. But I was listening to you, Nekto, and something came as a surprise to me. You don't have a soft spot for Henry.
What do you mean by that?
I mean, it's you. You very rarely have a soft spot for any player or team.
Wait, you just said you don't have a soft spot, and
but
now you're saying...
That was a shocker for me. That was the first time.
Do you mean to say I do have a soft spot, or do you mean to say I don't?
You had for Henry. Otherwise, you don't have.
Okay. Well, I just felt like it is one of those positions where anyone can sort of win. He did have a lot of pressure on him. There were too many players in front of him as well. He did mess up. Yes, he did not even have enough bullets in his primary weapon, which was his AR, which was Scarl and FAMAS, so he had to switch consistently. Later on, he picked up that sniper. Yes, in sniper, he absolutely missed. I cannot take that away. But one thing is for sure, he did have a lot of pressure on top of him. So I still think, since Team Aryan is doing so good in the overall standings, we can give them that leeway.
You do like the guy, but coming back to the
No, it's not like that.
It's
not like that.
Yes,
I've always been neutral towards everyone.
Yes,
if someone messes, I will point that out.
Yeah.
That's how it is.
You are fair. I'm not going to deny that.
But hey, looking at this game and looking at the way the plane flap had started, all the way from the southern side, from docks towards the opposite side, which will be Hothin, this plane flap path is perfect for anyone that wants to drop anywhere on the map of Sanhok, which will require the minimum time. And for Reckoning Esports, they have dropped in around that Hothin vicinity towards the Camp Alpha territory. Reckoning Esports, it's quite a massive split. A few players on the opposite side of the bridge, a few players towards the Camp Alpha Island.
But look at Painan. That is where we have the players of Meta NINZA, Revenant X Park, and even the players of Team iQOO Soul. And seems like Fierce has already been knocked out. Even Fury also gets taken down. Only 2 players remaining from the side of Revenant X Park. They have to go for the rescue mission. But look at that. They don't have enough loot. They don't have proper armor in their hands. But finally, Trace God will manage to give revive to Fierce. Still not a good situation for the players of Revenant X Park at all.
Yeah, why did Fury move out so much in the open? That could have been his demise. That could have been the elimination for Revenant X Park off the rip. But luckily enough, Fury will be revived. So it's all good. You've got another team in the front lines. And once again for Seoul, they've got no intentions to continue this brawl. Just going to back away from this fight. Respect the opponents. And especially looking at the zone as well. It's not a tricky circle, at least to play in the first stage. Maybe stage 2 can definitely be tricky. And Sanhok has always been quite a zone-oriented map. If the zone is not on top of you, favoring you, then problems will start to occur.
And zone is definitely favoring the players of GDR as they are all the way towards the side of Paradise Resort. But we were talking about the consistency of iQOO Soul, that it has been a problem for them. Yesterday on the map of Sanhok, they were able to pull off a banger performance by getting those 12 finish points. But this time on the map of Sanhok on day 2, not the start which they were hoping for, but no casualty whatsoever. Now all they need is to find a good compound so that they can get that crucial loot resources in their hands. But also, looking at the position where the players of Orangutan are, I think, considering the circle, they are in a quite decent spot.
Seoul, all the players alive, I guess trying to move in towards their primary drop location, or maybe still trying to figure it out. Bit confused, since they do not even have that much loot. They definitely aren't stacked. Lacking on meds, lacking on utilities, even the ammunition's low. So if Seoul does want to loot up, now it has to be through a fight. They cannot go towards the city, then start looting once again. It's going to take too much of their time. Now they need to go for a fight no matter what. And since we know it's the stage 1 power play is active, you can take those fights as well. It's a luxury on the map of Sanhok.
Most certainly it is, and from the looks of it, it looks like iQOO is heading all the way towards the side of boot camp, and that is exactly where the players of Revenant X Park are also going. Even the players of Reckoning Esports are also lurking nearby, so boot camp is definitely not a safe place for the players of iQOO, and seems like this rivalry is going to brew between the players of RNTX and iQOO. Sensei, trying to get some information, checking if boot camp is occupied. Having some information extra is always helpful, and now that they have realized that there is no one in the city of boot camp, they're actually going to take that control. But look at Reckoning Esports and TWOB in such a close proximity to each other.
TWOB, the man squatted a bear, and Mac gets caught. He had no clue that there was Max right there, and Mac was surprised. Reckoning Esports, they made sure that TWOB will be walking into a spring trap, but still TWOB might just be able to break through. But no, instead Reckoning Esports, they're constantly finding those casualties against TWOB. And that's keeping the players of Reckoning Esports in an even Steven crown. Reckoning Esports, as long as they're able to deliver the equalizers, they will be in the race. But TWOB, now they've finally realized that it's a bit too late. The sword is on top of their neck. They need to take the fight up close and personal. Pucar, he finds an important knock. He will deliver the blow as well. MyG lost Hermanos there with the third party. Pucar will be eliminated, but Reckoning Esports, they won't stand a chance either. The third party was perfect from Los Hermanos, but there might be another team waiting to obliterate Los Hermanos as well.
Could be the players of Revenant X Park, or maybe the players of Marcos Gaming or GDR. 3 teams in such a close proximity to the players of Los Hermanos. They need to be very careful, especially from the side of Trace God. As Trace God, one of the star player of this lineup, is keeping a close eye on to the players. Yeah. He's aware that someone is there. The question is, will the players of Revenant X Park go for this initial fight since the power play is there? Or will they just hold on to the compounds of boot camp?
At least luckily enough, TWOB was able to get 3 elimination points in the power play itself. That means that's going to be 6 points in the overall standings. It's not a terrible game, if you ask me. It's still quite decent.
Yeah.
Reckoning Esports got 4 points out of this game. That's bad. They could have done better. Even a single point counts. Marcos Gaming, it is one of those spots that's being held by a lot of teams. Especially in a zone like this, you will always see a team right over here. And this time, Marcos Gaming controlling the center part. If a fight does brew up against Marcos Gaming, one thing is for sure, there will be a lot of eyes on top of this fight. That is one of the downsides you have the moment you hide in the center spot. If your position gets revealed, if you're engaged in a fight, and if you're not able to wrap up that fight quickly enough, there will always be third parties.
And seems like few of the players are trying to avoid those third parties by going for the late rotation. I'm talking about the players of Team VS, as they are taking the brunt of the blue, taking their sweet little time to move inside the circle. But looks like even the players of True Rippers were also in a sort of a situation against Likitha Esports. But finally they have managed to move away and move inside the circle. But seems like Devotee was spotted down to the players of iQOO. Instant finish coming in. And now left with only 3 players. iQOO, the power play is there. They really want to capitalize on that. But before that, the loot, the resources are more important.
Next circle will be popping up. And this zone shift's going to be crucial. Bottom left, Revenant X Park now in the smack center. Towards boot camp, they've got the control. But controlling the entirety of boot camp just by 4 players, now that's impossible. So Revenant X Park will need to give up a bit of that territory to someone else. And then think about the future plans. As long as they've got a decent hold over boot camp, that's all that's going to matter. And at least for now, Seoul. Even they've got an okay spot. It's not the best. But looking at the zone, it is quite a decent spot.
For For sure, but they need to watch their six because they are surrounded by so many teams. They need to have that surrounding awareness. But on the other side, we have the players of NoNx Esports trying to cross over the bridge, but need to be a bit careful. On the other side, if you look at the players of VS and Meta NINZA, VS keeping a close eye onto the players of Meta NINZA, can definitely try to engage in a fight as they have the position advantage, height advantage, and here comes the first knock and the confirmation onto Reaper as well. Now Meta NINZA, they don't have enough numbers to go for that 4v4 fights, and same goes for the players of Team FS. They are also in a sort of a situation as one of the player has been knocked out.
Yeah.
God's Rain on the lower ground needs to be a bit careful though.
Was an important knock. God's Rain is also one of those teams that's not been able to find so much success after all. 18 points yesterday from all the games that they played. And they played all the 4 games, by the way. 18 points in 4 games by a team like God's Rain. It's unacceptable. You need a bit more. You need to be in the top 5 at least. But once again, we all know, even if you count this day out, there's still 19 more days to go. And in those 19 days, yeah, the entirety of overall standing can change. The team at the top can go at the bottom team can be at the top. Anything can happen.
Most certainly. Since the way all the teams are trying to stage a comeback, you already called day number 2 is a day of comebacks, and Godlike, Hero Extreme Godlike, they started a day with a chicken dinner, and after that even VS on the map of Miramar, they came on the 2nd spot having good enough points. But Necro, since you have changed so much, you're so nice to me on the desk and off camera as well, I really want to treat you with a burger, as you can get burgers at just 99 on Swiggy.
Yeah, it's fine. I can buy it for myself. Since it's just for 99, I'll buy it for myself. But yeah, we've got the replay of the previous action that did happen. And Reckoning Esports, oh boy. It's quite unfortunate that the players were not able to stand alive for too long, but the way just both of those players defended against the entirety of TWOB, that was quite great to watch. Yes, they did not really get a lot of points out of that, but still, Reckoning Esports able to secure 4 points. It's better than none.
Well, most certainly, Reckoning Esports, that was not the start which they wanted on the map of Sanhok, because Sanhok is known for the finish points, and they really wanted to capitalize, especially in the power play. But few teams are still going for a very safe approach, just like the players of Likitha Esports having that entire southern control. The last player of Meta NINZA, so very close to the players of VS, he needs to be a bit cautious. And the circle also is favoring the players of Likitha Esports, because now all the rotations will be coming in from the northern side of the map. And Likitha, they have the entire southern control to themselves. Even the players of True Rippers are also looking so promising.
Yeah. Likitha Esports now trying to breach inside of Painan. And it's going to be an easy breach too, not a problem. No one's there to really hold it. So Likitha Esports, without any complications, they will be able to get inside of the circle, also find a lot of cover since they're inside of the city. But Likitha Esports now needs to clear that city, and that's where the real problem begins. We know there's no one inside of the city, but they don't. They need to waste a lot of time scouting out the entire ground of Painan, make sure it's clear, and then only they can roam freely.
I have a question for you, Necro. We saw what really happened with the players of Metal Esports. They start on a very good note by getting the first initial knock and the confirmation point. But after that, they are not winning those 4v4 fights despite getting the first knock, first confirmation.
And that's what Metal Esports is known for. Metal Esports is always known for that early game aggression. And that's what they always like to bring it on the board as well. And majority of the times, Metal Esports, the only reason why I sort of like this team, it's because, first of all, the 3 players that are controlling this entire team, it's Venom, Termi, and the man himself, the IGL. And generally speaking, Metal Esports is extremely aggressive. Yes, sometimes being too aggressive is not going to work out. But since you know it's a long tournament, since you know it's a marathon, you've still got 19 more days after this one, I think you can afford to take as much risk as you want.
Most certainly you can, but you need that confidence. If you start on a good note in the week 1 itself, that is going to give you a confidence boost and a good momentum for the start of week 2. And we did see what really happened between the young prodigy and the veteran player. Seems like the young prodigy is reigning supreme, but looking at the position where we have Likitha Esports, seems like NoNx Esports, they also want to have the control of Painan, as Poker has has been knocked out. In fact, the confirmation point has also been made. Even the players of Team OG and iQOO Soul are also locking horns with each other now.
Likitha Esports, a three-man squad, losing out on Smoker. It's, of course, one of those casualties that you really did not want to see. But what's going on with Metal Esports? Scout getting knocked out to fall damage. What happened there? Oh, especially when you're inside of a fight, you cannot afford rookie mistakes like that. And Metal Esports Scout, oh boy, that rookie mistake costing Metal Esports a bit too much. On the verge of being eliminated potentially outside of this entire game. And that's what has happened. MyG lost Hermanos. Quick work against Metal Esports. Rookie mistake from Scout costed this entire fight to go away. It was like a domino effect. The moment the first knock was found, Metal Esports just crumbled.
That's what has been happening with Metal Esports in the previous 2 games as well. This time it was Los Hermanos getting those 5 crucial finishes converted, but they also need to prioritize their rotation. Because if you notice, iQOO Soul, Orangutan can really try to cut off the rotation for the players of Los Hermanos. All the teams trying to traverse from the northern side is not going to be an easy job for them. And seems like Orangutan, that was a quick job against the players of Los Hermanos. Easy elimination.
How did we forget? OG's in the lobby. And OG, they're here to reclaim that throne, that first spot in the overall standings, and they've already done it. They're currently holding that first spot. NoNx Anonymous, he wandered across the water. Had no clue that there's Starboy from Likitha Esports holding that cross. And NoNx now in a big world of trouble. On the opposite side, positions compromised. Likitha Esports, they better back away from this spot though. The circle's not on Painan. And when it's too late, getting outside of this spot will be tough.
Of course, Starboy on the rooftop. NoNx trying to find something with those grenades. At least the information.
Yeah.
But for now, no information has been passed on to the players of NoNx Esports, and Starboy can do so much from that angle on the rooftop. Hefty damage, and finally a knock onto one of the players of NoNx Esports, trying to get that second one as well with a DPS.
Oh no!
That was so close.
That's gotta sting. Whiffing those shots. Things could have been better. Only if you would have connected that shot. But he was not able to do so, and that's why now Likitha Esports down to just a 2-man squad. And NoNx, they've got the man advantage inside of the fight. If they do get the revival on that fallen comrade, even better. Likitha Esports, they've got different problems though. It's also against FS Esports now, and Roman's in the front. He's gonna move out. Roman finds a beautiful connection. EXO taken down real low, and he cannot defend himself. As EXO, he gets eliminated. FS Esports clenching their fists. True Rippers on top of that hill wanted to disrupt the flow of NoNx, and even FS Esports, but Lovish replies back well.
True Rippers right in the dead smack center of the circle, having a very good compound and the position advantage. Look at the Esports, they have been eliminated from the lobby. Even the players of REVENANT Spark are falling down through the play zone. God's Reign also getting early eliminated. On the 10th spot, not too many points. Just a single finish point in the name of God's Reign. And yesterday, I was having a talk with Destro, and he was like, first day is never a good day for us, but seems like the second day is also not good, and Play Zone is also punishing the players of REVENANT Spark at this point.
Yeah, exactly. These days, it feels like haven't been too grateful for the side of God's Reign. And God's Reign's been struggling consistently. Unfortunately for Rapido, the man was knocked out as well, so now from NoNx, being in such a bad spot, just gets worse. Kaliuk patching himself up. That patch is going to be there. And once again for NoNx, I highly doubt surviving this is going to be possible. There's FS Esports in the front, but yeah, luckily enough, they've got their backs turned. So maybe he can have the striking advantage, find the first strike, but that's also going to give his position away. So there's no way he's going to do that. But Marcos Gaming on the opposite side. Soul, oh, both the players are taken down pretty low, but still legit. How does he win that fight? It was a drop shot from legit. Eliminating that player, and even the last man of Marcos Gaming, he gets sent back to the lobby by Soul. Legit, the main playmaker, saving the day for the banner of Soul.
And That too when he was himself on a very low HP. 6 finishes already to the name of iQOO Soul, and they do have a decent compound to their name towards the northern side of the circle, but they need to be a bit cautious from the side of Fury, the last man from REVENANT Spark. In the meanwhile, even the players of Aryan have been eliminated on the 7th spot. FS fighting against the blue, fighting against the players of Orangutan, who had the height advantage, position advantage, completely eliminates FS Esports on the 5th spot. Even the players of REVENANT has been eliminated. Top 4 teams where Orangutan, they do have a decent spot. They have the height advantage and also have got a lot of information onto the players of VS.
Soul backing away to the sidelines. I'm not exactly sure how can they make a good play to actually sustain inside of this game. I highly doubt Soul can survive after this. They've made it to the top 4, and this is probably going to be it. Victorious Summers, they're consistent, extremely consistent. First game, Victorious Summers was doing good. Second game, once again, Victorious Summers is right there. And now as well, Victorious Summers in the top 4. Thunder, the man's chipped up, but he's got the cavalry right behind him. OG currently controlling the prime spot, and Authentic, what was that? Oh, he was able to chip down the second man as well, and yes, I think he did get knocked out, but it's completely fine. He managed to almost take down 2 players of Victorious Summers. The man's done his job. Now Oasis is out in the open, and he's not going to stand a single chance. Oasis gets eliminated mid-rotation. Victorious Summers, a big blunder.
Orangutan, 10 finishes. The second name of the consistency. OG has been super consistent since yesterday, every single time, getting those crucial finishes, those position points, everything is there. But True Rippers walking directly into the compounds of iQOO Soul, walking into the compounds of True Rippers. QLMO, he's aware what sort of moves the players of iQOO Soul are trying to make. But the main question is, are the players of iQOO Soul aware about True Rippers?
I'm pretty sure they are. This late inside of the game, the only compound in the circle, you have to know there's someone camping it. And that's one of the main reasons why Soul is taking such a cautious approach. But Soul does not know the pinpoint location of the players. And that's where the real problem can start to begin. There is that anonymous factor in True Ripper's position, and True Rippers will try to abuse it as much as possible. Soul, these 2 final players, too much on their shoulder. OG, they've got the circle control. It's OG's game to lose. They've got the high ground control. They've got every single right to win this game. It's their game to lose. But Soul now, they've got a bit of that wave of opponents charging on towards them. Legit's position's compromised. He's got the S12K to back him up, but it's not going to matter. True Rippers as well, now getting obliterated. Knuckle, the only man surviving inside of this final circle, and he is not going to stand a chance either. OG, they conquer the lands of Sanhok, and they're here to get the victory. No one's going to be able to stop OG and their march towards victory. This is their game, and they will claim it.
For sure, Orangutan getting a beautiful winner chicken dinner on the map of Sanhok. Yesterday it was Marcos Gaming, and today it is Orangutan reclaiming their throne on the top of the leaderboard.
What a play that was. OG, the high ground contention till the end. Able to defend it pretty flawlessly. But generally speaking, given the position Soul had, I did not think they were going to be able to make it till the top 2. And I guess the only reason why they were able to make it till the top 2 is because of that mess up from Victorious Summers. It was such an awkward way to make that push. They were pushing Authentic in a straight line on that rock. And Authentic, for him, it was quite easy to spray them down. And he did it with these 2. FS Esports, unfortunately for them, we did see them do in the final few moments, but not for too long. And this was the push that I was talking about. Thank you for him. This finish point was just gifted.
Orangutan, from the very start, if you notice, they had the higher ground, they had the height advantage, and they definitely capitalized on that. They did eliminate the players of VS, and after that, they eliminated the players of FS as well.
Exactly. I mean, with that being said, even the 3rd game of the day comes to an end, but now it's time for us to toss to a short break before we head on towards the final game of the day.
about to drop.
Just a second. I need to finish this video.
Ask Gemini on Android, it will give highlights.
Press for key highlights.
Only on Android.
TVS Raider, the wicked ride.
Real MVPs are not born. They practice every day. For OP moves on the field and in life.
Duolingo English Test. Proud supporters of dreamers and doers.
Red Bull gives you wings.
With the big chicken dinner out there right now, since OG were the one to win it, it was obvious that Necro had to take his leave right now. My man is all the way back. I'm back into the action, ladies and gentlemen. Skated this side along with Shadow, and we will be talking about the last match, right? Because Sanhok, you can't really keep, OG out of that, but if you've got Google Play Protect in your phone, you can definitely keep your data as well as apps safe and keep those malwares out of your phone. Now, with that said and done, let's talk about that, right? OG getting another win, and it was Sanhok in one of the previous events as well where their victory roll started.
Well, Orangutan, I've been saying, the other name of consistency. If you notice, since yesterday, Orangutan has been playing fantastic RTMP,
Yes.
and the entire lineup of Orangutan, the momentum is in their favor. They're feeling confident. They're not shying away from those 4v4 fights, and the rotation are also impeccable every single time. They find themselves on a position advantage, and the MVP has to be Aru with 5 finishes and 38% finish contribution.
The man always leads his team with an example. Never really pushing back whatsoever. Having a look at the stars of the match as well. Aru, since he's the MVP, he's going to get the going all out as well. But the damage is not that much. 677, all right, fair. But 5 finishes, yeah, he's definitely making sure he's getting those knocks out on time as well. Maximum rescues goes for the Trace Squad. We normally see this man up on top of the finish board, but it's always supporting the team as well whenever it was needed. Vizgod coming in as the man who was there for the final blow. He was really kept quiet throughout the entire game, right? Only having a couple of frags, one against Victor Sumus, and then the last one finishing off another player.
But one thing is for sure, even the players of iQOO Seoul do perform really good on the map of Sanhok.
Yeah, that is extremely true. Eventually, we were not really expecting them to win that fight, but the last stand of Legit was absolutely impeccable. When you look at the lineup of Seoul, you really see that, yeah, it's Knuckle, the man full of experience. You are seeing Goblin, who's back into the action, who at one time was absolutely feared across the lobby. If he was alive, you knew that he could take his team at least into the top 5. But it seems like it's Legit now who's eventually taking that battle.
And Joker as well. Don't forget what really happened yesterday. I'm sure all the fans are not going to forget it for a very long time. But yes, few teams were also in the position disadvantage. But looking at the match ranking, OG having total of 23 points right on the top. iQOO Seoul on the second with total of 13 points. REVENANT Spark, the consistency is finally there from their side. 12 total points to their name. True Rippers survived for a very long time. Not too many finishes, but 6 placement points, total 8 points to them. FS, 6 total points, made it inside the top 8.
We are talking about consistency as well. FS has been showing that too. Like, even from the first day itself, if they're not really getting those eliminations, they at least find a way to get into those position points advantage, right? So, I kind of like with the way how they are playing. But if you're really talking about the teams on the lower end of this leaderboard, Aryan, alright, this is one of a fumble game. It's absolutely fine. We know that Sanhok is not really one of the best maps which they eventually play on, but having a look at the overall rankings out there right now, Orangutan, now that lead, which was of only a few points, has increased. The buffer is finally getting back in their hands. 38 finish points already, but REVENANT Spark are really not shying away. All the top 6 teams have played 5 games. They've still got 1 more game to go.
For sure, 1 more game to go, but so many people doubted Sensei since Recently, he was struggling a lot since last year, but finally the momentum is there, the comeback is there, sitting on the second spot. But NoNx Esports on the 16th with 26 points. 8-bit, this is a bit of a shocker for me, sitting on the 14th spot with total of 29 points. Hero Extreme Godlike, they also need to make sure the consistency is there. Sitting on the 13th spot, better than what was yesterday, total 29 points.
Here's the thing, right? They're the side of Group C, so they're going to be playing 4 games tomorrow. And with the way how they performed in both of the games today, yeah, they should be pretty happy, right? Considering day one was pretty rough for them. But a team that has also been on the consistency train with not really performing that good has been Phoenix Esports. I mean, only 5 points till now, 1 elimination point. That's absolutely rough, man. I really feel that they need to change something, right? And I'm pretty sure it's not really about the potential of the players. We've known Ash to be the man all the way back in BGMS Season 2, pulling his old OG boys. He was all the way up on top. Phoenix, rest of the boys have been performing pretty well as well. I think so they need to change. The only thing that is the device that they're using. Make sure that you check out the OnePlus 13R as well, ladies and gentlemen, because guess what? It's got the Snapdragon 8 in itself. With the 3rd Gen 2, yeah, that's the best performance chip out there, which you would want to check out. So make sure you go and click on that link as well, as we'll be heading on for a short break. Check out that phone. We'll be right back after this one.
R is for RAM on roids. A 12GB ramped up, run on all engines, upgraded in a world resigned to 8 gig. Ridiculously ripped. Raise the stakes with a ruthless dozen. Ready to raid. Write faster, roll smoother. Reach higher with a refuse-to-die battery. Every app, every activity. Rep, 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 rep. If it's in your radius, R keeps it on rotation. OnePlus 13R. R is ours.
How did we go from bathtub to battleground?
Gemini on Android, bro. Anything can happen.
Press to create videos.
Only on Android.
TVS Raider, the Wicked Ride.
Real MVPs are not born. They practice every day. For OP moves on the field and in life.
Duolingo English Test. Proud supporters of dreamers and doers.
Red Bull gives you wings.
The train of consistency has been on for the teams like OG and Revenant X-Park, and if we are talking about consistency, we always have to talk about someone who's been here, and that is Android. Android is the co-title sponsor of BGMS Master Series for the 2nd year in a row now. So Season 4 is also sponsored by them. Make sure you check out all the Android devices as well, ladies and gentlemen, as we will be moving pretty soon to the last map of the day. It's going to be the map of Erangel, as the big bird yet again moves into the sky for one last time, giving the teams one last chance for success.
And yes, the big blue bird is going to hit the sky for the last Erangel of today. And the flight path is going to come on our screens in just few seconds. But I know it is going all the way from the hospital towards Nova Rupnoy. So all the teams who love dropping in towards the side of Kamichki, Stalper, Severny, they need to be a bit cautious. They need to opt for a longer route. But my eyes are on that drop clash. Are we going to witness any early action or a drop clash at this point? Because the power play is going to be there. At least for the stage 1 circle, a chance to double up your finish points. TWB going all the way up north towards the side of maybe North Georgipur or Zaki. NoNx Esports dropping in towards the side of Hospital. Seems like once again, I'm going to be a bit disappointed as there is no drop clash happening. Scared.
I know you want to see those early clashes out there, Shadow, but I'm going to humor you. We are probably going to see a northwestern zone entirely, or rather a northeastern zone, which will include some of the waterways out there. We have been seeing some nasty zones on the map of Erangel right now, and I'm pretty sure that everyone else is eventually going to be surprised as well for the same thing. No drop clashes. Yes, the teams would like to go towards Yasna, Polyana, Mansion, Prison. I'd have to go travel a little bit of a long way in terms of their own flight. But guess what? I was talking about north. Yes, in the western, rather the western part of the circle is, but it's all the way towards south. We can't see 25% of the circle on the screen as well. I mean, guess what? 50% of his water. I'm absolutely fine. Take some boats. Enjoy your time.
That's what really happened yesterday as well. Not the boats part, but the circle. It was a crazy circle towards the last Erangel yesterday also. Somewhere towards the side of Crore. But this time, I think OnePlus God's Reign can benefit heavily. But one thing which is going to make all this very interesting, that it is a hybrid circle. It's going to be a tedious task for all the IGLs to predict exactly where the final circle is going to be. Will it be a southern military base circle? Or will it be a main island circle? Or will it be a bridge circle? What's your prediction?
I have no clue about this, and I don't want to predict it at this point. You know what? I'm going to think that it's going to go down south of Pochinki. That's where it's going to be ending up. But guess what? Since the bridge is out there up for contention, there's already 3 teams moving on to that place. Holy smokes. This is pretty unique coming in for Team Aryan as well, as they're split down. Going in for a split that normally Oasis likes to call for his team, right? With one player sitting all the way down south in the southern military base island, 3 up north as well. And here we go. Fights breaking out up in front of us. Look at the Esports already taking that. Termi. It's really able to answer Marcos, though, but that's on the very other end of this entire map. The thing in front of us. Medal going in for their search. Termi able to find one quickly. They want to try and hunt down the rest of the players as well. Crowds down, peeked out, the door opens, Venom is not seeing him! Venom is down on the knees, but the rest of the cavalry is here! And Avi will be sent packing back home, and as we were talking about this, the action to the bridge continues as Team Aryan are on the receiving end.
Well, for sure, they are on the receiving end, but a good start for the players of Metal Esports. They're right at the bottom of the leaderboard, having just total of 14 points. Metal Esports, they really needed those points in the power play. This good start is going to help the case of Metal Esports to propel themselves in the overall leaderboard. But on the other side, 2 big giants are also locking horns with each other. Orangutan and iQOO.
I mean, it was inevitable overall, right? Because Rozhok is where we would see both of them drop out here. But Devotee is going to be dropping down, not just onto his knees, but trying to survive by breathing underwater out here. Finally, last few bullets eventually landing onto him. Away, still holding his ground for Sister, or rather. Again, you know, I kind of miss Sister Esports at this point. I've taken their names multiple times. I do want to see that team back into the action right now. But the action on front, it's Henry down onto the knees. Look at the Esports as well on the bridge. This has absolutely been a nightmare for Team Aryan. Nowhere where they could go. One end being blocked by Likitha. The other end being blocked by Victor Sumus. Try to survive out there, my man. You can't.
Trying. Even the players of God's Reign can also join the party. But Likitha Esports did capitalize on the situation. They knew so many rotations are going to be coming in from the side of military base bridge area. And Likitha Esports did get few good points converted. Lost Hermanos also in such a close proximity to the players of VS. Even the players of Meta NINZA are also there. But look at Dragon OP. He has opted all the waterways. But wait a second. We have Likitha Esports also locking horns with the players of God's Reign, as one of the players of God's Reign has been knocked out.
Make it the second one as well. Destro down onto the feet. Nothing that they can really do. Delta answers back. Trying to stop him down, but Smoker will get that confirmation too. The flush is out there. Zozo, yes, his game is ruined, but look at the Esports. Still want to try and find this one last member, but it's from the outside where he shots him down. Magic's got to try and pull his own magic. Uzi and Honey Patcher in his hands. Justin brought down. He's been finished off as well. The Molotov in feed. It's picture perfect. Magic falls down. It's phenomenal. It's all going down in the hands of Delta. Can he pull this off? Can he try and finish both of them? The game has absolutely been ruined. It's down to the last 1v1 with this 12k in hands and the frag as well. Switches us up as well down onto the stairs is Delta. 1v4s the entire Likitha Esports and saves his team in this game.
Not just 4 finishes, kid. Total 8 points. Because the power play is activated. On the other side, we also have the players of VS going up against the players of LHS as the last man, Kalan, is standing. The only hope. And in fact, in a 1v4 situation, a third party is the best possible scenario. But Kalan gets a confirmation point onto Thunder. Even the players of VS have suffered some casualty in total finishes. So that means 4 points to the side of LHS.
Oh my god, that's phenomenal. NoNx as well are eventually jumping in. So that's basically the best possible scenario coming in from Kalan now, but that's going to be a bit of a problem as all the nades keep falling in. Oh my goodness, Viper himself has been facing out a bit of a problem out there. Open in the ground though. Kalan still holding strong, going up. Everyone now want to shut him, and they will finally delete him. My G Los Hermanos eventually pushed out on the 14th spot. Every single team is taking the fight, but you've got to clear your vicinity as Orangutan are now making their way.
And that too towards the side of NoNx Esports. OG has been feeling so confident, especially the way they got chicken dinner in the previous one. The table toppers with 68 points. This time in the power play, they were pretty silent. Maybe because of the circle, rotations were the priority.
Yeah.
Loot and resources were also the priority. So now OG can definitely capitalize on the situation and maybe charge onto the compounds where NoNx is there under the supervision of one of their players. 3-player reaching into the compounds, gets a first knock and the confirmation as well onto Rapido.
AK is almost every single time the spearhead of the team, and he's been feeling himself from yesterday, but Westcott standing a bit far away out there, constantly seeing the movements up in front of him. Now the player goes out of the vehicle almost. Gets deleted, just one more bullet could have done the trick. Anonymous still will survive. NoNx as well, they've got the members, so don't really think there's going to be a lot of problem coming in for them. But Orangutan, they've got no one behind them. But here's the thing, Shadow. The window is closing in and the circle is moving down south, so Godstained would have been super happy had it not been for Likitha Esports taking 2 of their members down. But now is also a chance for them to try and hold their crown down. We know how solid they are on the defense. But can you really expect Delta to pull that kind of thing off every single time?
Here's the thing. When the circle forms on your drop city, drop location, you don't have to rotate too much. You lack that crucial information which is required in the game of BGMI. But on the other side, look at the position where Revenant X Park is, all the way in the military base. But for now, iQOO Soul going up against the players of TWOB. Phantom has been knocked out from a moving vehicle. TWOB, not a start which they were hoping. But iQOO Soul taking the brunt of the blue and chasing the last player of TWOB. This is not looking good for Pukar at all. The last man, the only hope of TWOB.
Yeah, he's also brought down onto his knees. That's Goblin is the man who gets that knock. Knuckle constantly switching between the seats as well. So they're ready with the DBS, TWOB. Now it's only Mac remaining. Phantom down on the knees. No one would expect teams to be there so late, but Soul finally going in for the hunting party that we've known this team to go for. Confirmation on Phantom, picture perfect. Legit just drives the vehicle over him. That's perfect. Now they can eventually take all the utilities away from them as well and replenish their own. Soul is having a fun time, but now once the next blue starts to make a move, that's when they'll have to try and run back to the safety.
You were talking about Knuckle and Legend being so good in the entire roster of iQOO Soul. I was appreciating Joker. We forgot completely about Goblin. All the 3 finishes which iQOO Soul is having at this point are of Goblin.
And this is the first game where he has actually come alive since yesterday, right? So if you're really considering the entire story out there, yes, there was a time when Goblin was also struggling, but finally they basically got their footing, right? But it's again, I'd still say it's going to take a while to really say the entire team is back on its feet, because TWOB, they were kind of running away.
Yeah.
So it's not like a proper fight being put up in front of them, and there's no third party per se. But now the focus is going to be back in on the teams who are going for their long rotations. Marcos Gaming, a couple of members remaining alive, 3 to be honest, and going in for the rotation. I'm not really sure if that's really the best thing, right? The stomach of a lot of people are growling right now as they're hungry for limbs and fights.
You talk about Marcos Gaming, they have been doing pretty decent in the overall ranking. Good points already being accumulated, and the rotations have always been really good from the side of Marcos Gaming. Yesterday also in match number 3, they got a beautiful winner chicken dinner.
When you talk about Marcos Gaming and the good things, I just remember the first game today itself.
You have to do this, right?
I'm not taking any names.
You have to do this. It's time you hydrate yourself.
You're not the only one who's got the witty humor out here, Shadow.
My humor is 1,000 times better than your humor. We all know that. But coming back to the game, Reckoning Esports once again going for a late rotation, taking the brunt of the blue all the way towards the side of Novo Rupnoy Bridge. And in the overall ranking also, Reckoning has not been doing that great. They're sitting on the 12th spot with a total of 31 points. But Atanki finally finds a knock onto Nakul. Legit gets a trade. Back and forth race are definitely there, but Atanki needs to reposition himself. iQOO Soul Joker coming under heavy fire from the side of Aru. Instant knock coming in. And now OG will be looking for the confirmation points.
Absolutely, as Bisgod eventually knocks down Goblin as well. Aru answering back, and this is a big play for OG as they eliminate Soul instantly. You would not really expect any team to hold their position down in the blue at such point, but it's Orangutan. The Apes have been doing the things no one expects them to do. They're owning the entire battlefield, but the question is now, how will they make their move, considering the circle is still somewhere around the edge of the cliffs on the military base island, right? So there would definitely be a lot of teams who would be eyeing out at least on that bridge to make sure no one makes their cross from that. And that's where I feel like Middle and Reckoning made a good decision to rotate from the farm side. Yes, it's the longer rotation. It's going to take a lot more time, but you have got so many grounds to play around with.
Well, definitely, Reckoning Esports can try to go for the control of the caves towards the military base island, but Orangutan still opting for that bridge of military base where we have the players of FS and also the players of NoNx Esports. This is not looking good, but luck is favoring OG so much.
I wouldn't say luck at this point. I just feel like it's whenever people see Orangutan pop around some part of the map, they empty the rest of the area as well because they don't want to take the fight. You better not fight them. But yeah, it seems like OG are getting everything that they need. I don't feel like they need the Swiggy coupon to get the burger at 99. They're going to pay the maximum price, and even after that, they're going to get the refund. Why? Because they're OG.
Remember the statement when next time Orangutan gets eliminated. I don't want OG to be eliminated, but that's going to happen sometime.
I just said it.
Coming back to the game, OG.
The way how you dodge the question is not subtle.
Coming back to the game once again, Team Aryan. We saw what really happened with Henry in the previous game of Miramar.
Wow.
The last player surviving, the only hope for the players of Team Aryan. And here's the thing, even I have a lot of hopes with the players of Team Aryan since they have got a lot of experience. But seems like things are not really going in their favor, and not going in the favor of the players of TWOB as well, as they have been eliminated on the 12th spot. The hands of OG, by the way.
Exactly. Utility is now being grabbed by Atanki as well. The anticipation is unreal. They still expect someone to go for a super late rotation from the blue. Atanki is just making sure that he's got every single piece of utility that he needs in order to support his team from the backlines, as well as AKOP and Vizgod are the ones who are controlling those hills up north of the military base. But they will have to make their move, and Godstrain as well as FS are the ones who are around those houses. That's going to be the main thing to focus on right now. Godstrain were the one who are holding things out right now, but again, is the military base, is the open areas as well with some of the hard covers, but you've got some of those windows where you can sneak in those shots from, and that's exactly what True Rippers are doing. Finding an opener and a big one as well against NoNx, who are eventually on the northern part now, making their way pretty late into the main military base itself. And they did not clear out their surroundings. Why is the nade supposed to pass through the grill?
Barrage of grenades coming in from the side of True Rippers. Jelly trying to find something, some sort of connection onto the players of NoNx Esports. But since no connection has been made, he repositioned himself, not trying to overcome it. That's a good decision coming in from the side of Jelly, since the next circle is going to be coming in few minutes, in few seconds in fact. But looking at the position and the circle, scared, in my experience, the players where the players of Revenant X-Spark are, I think they can benefit heavily. It's going to be a good game for the players of Revenant X-Spark if they play all their cards right.
Whichever team wins in this one will eventually have the big advantage in the leaderboard itself.
Yeah.
OG, they're just being the hunting party out here right now. I don't feel like they're orangutans at all at this point. They're evolving into more aggressive type of apes. There's a fact that I recently realized that chimpanzees are the ones who are more aggressive than gorillas. And I think so. Orangutans are actually the most friendly ones out there. But this orangutan is different. This squad, it's one of the most aggressive that we have seen yet. And that aggression has been paying off in 10-folds if you talk about it.
Agreed. In-game, not so friendly. Outside the game, extremely friendly, all the players.
Pretty chill guys, yes. I agree.
And in the chill manner, Orangutan also gets one more finish point onto the last player of FS. 9 finishes strong, all the 4 players alive, and also OG has got the entire northern control of the circle, and the circle takes a bit of the southern shift. Reckoning having the maximum control, Revenant X-Spark having the height advantage can really punish the players of GDR who are trying to go for a complete southern rotation. Even the players of OG are trying to traverse from the northern side.
Now, that's going to be the problem. Because it's True Rippers, it's Medal, it's NoNx. A lot of teams out here who would eventually be firing shots onto them, right? Because, again, let's just say it's more of an urban circle, so a lot of teams will have those grounds and hard covers to try and survive. The utilities are going to be crucial, but all of those fights will take place after the next circle. So Orangutan will have to pick their fight. They'll have to focus it all down right now, but Marcos Gaming can't really stand out there in the open, though it's made a NINZA. We're trying to push up away, but what is Poco doing? Eventually still surviving out there as Dragon joins the fight as well. Down to one last member. It's Noddy, and Noddy is not going to be flying his plane out whatsoever. As he'll be deleted, he'll be taken down, and OG pushing up against the members of Revenant X-Spark. Guess what? Everything's falling in the hands of apes as they destroy RNTX. You talked about them to hold their place down, but 3 have been lost.
Yeah, Sensei is still surviving. The only hope remaining, 0 finishes. But now with the barrage of the grenades, trying to find some connection. He knows the players of OG are wounded. This is the moment to strike. But falling short on that trajectory, Sensei, can he convert at least 1 finish onto the players of OG? They have been doing so great, but Aru comes in and eliminates the entirety of Revenant X-Spark, the last player. And yes, hey, come on, man, don't laugh. Don't make fun of him. He's the last man standing from the side of Team Aryan. What is he supposed to do?
I'm absolutely not laughing because of that. The only reason why I'm laughing is because, yes, there's all sort of firecrackers bursting around him, and he's been sitting there like a chill guy.
Not around him. No one came for the contestation of that building. All the fights are happening.
Exactly, on the outskirts, right? On the,
yeah.
So that's around him. Shadow. It's fine, Shadow. It's fine. I know it's been a long day for you, but it's absolutely okay. But yeah, he's basically the chill guy out there chilling. And the fact is, eventually he's moved his team up to grab at least 1 position point. So he's going to be happy about it. Medal on the other side, making things difficult for Reckoning, because these two are the only teams who would eventually collide up close and personal. True Rippers, they're also the ones who have got quite a lot of people now, but AKOP has got to focus down. It's Neo and Delta, both of them up in front of him, and AK did not realize that. Taken down instantly as Neo gets that confirmation as well. Aru shutting down NoNx. Orangutan, they're being fired from multiple directions as well, but they still make sure to ruin the game of another team. 15 finishes for them already in this game. And Aru is still alive, and the circle is on him.
Orangutan are the monsters unleashing today. They're raining death and destruction in the lobby, but the moment I say this, True Rippers comes in and gets a confirmation point onto Aru as well.
Overboard, man.
And by the way, I placed all my bets on the plus of Revenant X Park.
Yeah.
Please don't mention this to Sensei. He's going to be angry at me.
I will definitely.
Please don't. But God's Rain, they still have 2 players alive. 7 total finishes.
You were saying you're gonna get the burger for Necro. You know what? Get me the French fries, and I'll not say it to him.
Sensei is a friend. He won't mind.
Perfect, Sensei. You've noticed that. I'll give you the timestamp as well. But yeah, focusing back down onto the game. It's time for the players of Reckoning to go on for their opposing spree right now, because they've got a very nice slot in the entire circle. They've got a lot of covers. Not really a lot of teams that can cause a problem. And Medal are not really going in for the rotation towards them, right? They're not clearing those side grounds. They are going in for a straight rotation up in front. So those are a few things that I personally feel you'd eventually have to focus down on a bit. Let's see.
Reckoning Esports still having all the 4 players alive, but this time Reckoning have been pretty silent in the lobby. Not even single finish, but maybe the way Viper is crawling his way towards the side of God's Rain, he can try getting that one finish over there, but he's all by himself.
Yeah.
There is no one. In case if a knock comes in, there is no one to save him. And the moment I say it, Neo comes in and instantly eliminates Viper. What is happening? The moment I appreciate anyone, they get eliminated.
The military base circle is God's Rain's territory.
Yeah.
Even with just 2 players, they know every single nook and cranny of this entire part of the map. So if it falls there, you can't count them out. We were waiting for this kind of, monstrous performance from them. And they're finally pulling their socks up.
Reckoning are also there. Medal finally made it inside the top 5. Even they also have good control of the circle, good position to hold on to towards the northern side. But True Rippers, even they have got a decent spot. The 2v2 split might actually work in their favor. And the good thing is, Scout OP has a vague idea about the players of True Rippers. He's just waiting for the right moment. And look at Termi having 6 grenades. Just through the barrage of grenades, he can try to take down multiple players from the side of True Rippers. But the next circle shift is going to be really crucial at this point.
Yeah, regardless of what the scenario is, I'm pretty sure it's going to be True Rippers who would eventually take the cake. Unless God's Rain ruin their plans as well. They don't really have a lot of covers out here right now, but if the circle forms on them, then that's a different story. Their defense, picture perfect. Ball has been up on top. Finally, that one building Cyrax was in. He's eventually crawled out of it, and he's still on the edge. And man, oh man. True Rippers, Reckoning, Medal, all 3 of them are going to be super happy. And now God's Rain will be facing the troubles. Hydra's going to be responsible for this one, right? He's the man who's making sure that the back is clear for True Rippers.
The guy has got 2 Molotovs and the entire team of True Rippers right in front of him.
He's got 3 stun as well.
I think the Molotovs are more important at this point. I really wish he had few grenades as well.
Blind them, burn them, and then finish them.
True Rippers have no idea about the last player of Team Aryan.
Exactly.
And I always say this. The last man is the most dangerous man in the lobby.
Now here's the moral question. Does he want to take this one finish and then risk his position being spotted and eventually being flushed out? Or does he want to stay here for a little bit longer and then move up? Holy smokes, this guy is out in the wild. He's acting like Drax, like no one's seeing him. And True Rippers are not focusing on him whatsoever as Jelly takes a fight against God's Reign as they were pushed out in the open. Harsh still stays alive, but what's happening with Aryan? Every single player getting a chance to whip the shots, and Cyrax will fall. Thanks to Termi from the side, from the flank, Harsh stays alive. And now it's 3 players from Aryan who've got their highlights they would not really want to see again.
True Rippers still got all the 4 players alive. One of the players from the side of God's Reign has already been knocked out. In fact, the confirmation has been made. 4 finishes towards True Rippers. And now their entire focus is onto the players of Medal Esports. Reckoning Esports still holding on to their grounds. This is not looking really promising for True Rippers at all, because the entire focus of Reckoning Esports and Medal is on the players of True Rippers.
Not really going to change anything out there. Reckoning the only thing that's helping them was the dip, but now the circle is going to be moving away from them, probably taking a bit more central shift. That makes True Rippers the prime position holders. Oh, that still goes on to the side of Medal as well. This is going off towards stage 9, people. Reckoning Esports will eventually be flushed out and will be fired upon from 2 different directions unless this fight prolongs, or rather comes into the conclusion pretty soon. iQOO also has got an angle right on the side, and it's got to be careful about the members of Reckoning on the right side as they will make a mad dash. But their pathing should be from the northern side, so Medal should be the team that is eventually crushed in from 2 directions. You mentioned about the frags, and those frags are finding value. A big long 3-pointer, and iQOO destroys Medal Esports. That makes Reckoning grab that real estate for themselves.
They most certainly can, but True Rippers have still got few extra grenades. That's not a good news for the players of Reckoning at all. They have got a lot of information, especially Kulamau. Trying to get something. Dishes out a lot of damage onto one of the players of Team Reckoning. Put a grenade, trying to get the knock. But let's see, can you really get the connection?
Too far away.
Nah.
Way too far away. Not really out there yet. Max, man, is absolutely surviving on. God's is out there. Flock as well up in front, has got nowhere to go. True Rippers have got their eyes on the target. They're the eagle, and everyone else in front of them is their prey. You call it Medal, you call it Reckoning, the name changes, the result does not. They're going to try and soar even high as Max falls down, and Dionysus, he's trying to stay alive though, but just behind a vehicle. He's got nothing else to do, nowhere to go as the nade finds him as well. And it's a hovercraft of Jelly which started things against Soji, and it's going to end things as well against Reckoning. Block balls as True Rippers claim their winner chicken dinner.
Much deserved, much deserved. The way True Rippers took those rotations, early rotations all the way towards the side of military base, and having that entire control maintained. They were engaging in so many fights. One side it was Medal Esports, one side it was the players of Team Reckoning as well. They took down so many squads. They also dealt with the players of OnePlus God's Reign. True Rippers, a much needed winner chicken dinner.
But I have to say, one of the best decisions that they made was to make sure that Orangutan had eventually finished off. Yes. With the form that team was going in, I'm pretty sure they're still going to be up in top 3. But let's have a look at the final row one more time.
This is the moment when True Rippers, through those grenades, took down not just Scout but also Venom, the entirety of Medal Esports. The usual usage of True Rippers has been on point through the entire game.
You mentioned about that. 6 frags just with 1 player, and then eventually the rest of them as well pretty ready. But ladies and gentlemen, the main question is, are they going to be ready for this interview with Suren? Because he's going to be asking a lot of questions that we want the answers on.
निकालना भी जरूरी है और वो चिकन डिनर हासिल करना भी जरूरी है. I'm just waiting for Jelly, क्योंकि आखिर कुछ पलों में इन्होंने जो कर दिखाया है, aggression personified. Jelly, पहले तो उस मोमेंट की बात कर लेते हैं. यार, नीड के साथ इतना अग्रेशन iQOO ने जो कर दिखाया है, आखिरी कुछ पलों में. Does he wait for moments like this to unleash mayhem?
हाँ, वेट तो थोड़ा सा करते हैं. बाकी हमारी टीम पे बहुत सारे नेड्स थे. 10 से 20 नेड्स लेके चल रहे थे हम लोग, इसीलिए कि एंड जोन में मदद मिलेगी. बाकी क्यों ने एंड में कर दिया अपना काम.
हमने ना थोड़े टाइम पहले एस पावर से बात की थी इन द बैक स्टेज एरिया. वो भी गॉड लाइक का हिस्सा रह चुका है, आप भी गॉड लाइक का हिस्सा रह चुके हैं. ऑब्वियसली यू मूव्ड ऑन टू अ न्यू टीम. यहाँ सब कुछ चेंज हो चुका है, राइट? हाउ आर यू लुकिंग एट दिस न्यू चैप्टर ऑफ योर लाइफ?
लास्ट टाइम तो देखो खेल नहीं पाया था मैं गॉड लाइक से जितना मेरे को याद है. तो इस बार ठीक है, अच्छा लग रहा है. खेल रहे, चिकन ले रहे, वापस आके वापस आके अच्छा लग रहा है फॉर्म में आके. और ठीक है, जैसा चल रहा है अच्छा लग रहा है. बाकी देखते हैं.
यू नो, इस मैच में अगर आप ओजी को देखें तो उन्होंने बहुत सारे पॉइंट्स बटोरे हैं, फिनिशेस निकाले हैं. बहुत सारी टीम्स पावर प्ले का फुल फायदा उठा रही हैं. ट्रू रिपर्स से वो कब देख सकते हैं?
ट्रू रिपर्स यार, हमारा देखो गेम स्टाइल बहुत डिफरेंट है ऐसी चीज़ों में. और साथ में ये भी है कि हमारे पे ड्रॉप्स जो है बहुत ज़्यादा एजेस के है. लेकिन फाइट सेंटर की सेट होती है, तो जब तक हम लोग पहुंचने लगते हैं वहाँ तक, तब तक फाइट्स ओवर हो चुकी होती है. तो मेरे हिसाब से कुछ पॉइंट नहीं उस चीज़ का. लेकिन क्या पता ग्रैंड फाइनल्स में डिफरेंट हो चीज़ें, क्योंकि अभी सब कुछ रिवील नहीं करना चाहता मैं.
यार पिछले साल के मुकाबले पिछले साल भी हमने काफी बात की थी. वो कामनेस और वो जो स्माइल है चेहरे पे, वो इस बार बड़ी लग रही है. लॉट हैज चेंज्ड.
लास्ट टाइम खेलने को नहीं मिला था ना.
इस बार खेलने को ही मिल रहा है और जीतने को ही मिल रहा है. ब्रदर, congratulations on this chicken dinner. It has been amazing. Back to you boys in the studio.
R is for RAM on roids. A 12 gigabyte ramped up, run on all engines upgraded in a world resigned to 8 gig. Ridiculously ripped. Raise the stakes with a ruthless dozen. Ready to raid. Write faster, roll smoother. Reach higher with a refuse-to-die battery. Every app, every activity. Rep, 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 rep. If it's in your radius, R keeps it on rotation. OnePlus 13R. R is ours.
Bro, we're about to drop.
Just a second. I need to finish this video.
Ask Gemini on Android, it will give highlights.
Press for key highlights.
Only on Android.
TVS Raider, the wicked ride.
Real MVPs are not born, they practice every day. For OP moves on the field and in life.
Duolingo English Test. Proud supporters of dreamers and doers.
Red Bull gives you wings.
All's well that ends well right now, and that's probably what True Rippers would be hoping for as well. Pretty solid game coming in for their side, but man, the highlight will still go in for the favor of the boys in Orange. Orangutan having more than 15 finishes. Dude, when can we expect this train to either slow down or for someone else to derail it? Because they've not just been going on, but they've been flying out on high colors, right? I feel that they really need to drink the Bisleri water. They need to try and cool themselves down. But guess what? That's probably going to fire them up even more.
I don't know. They were on a rampage, man, because expecting the bridge to be entirely clear when so many teams were trying to traverse from that area, from that bridge. Every one of them was gatekept. Everyone had to face their opponents.
True.
But OG, they found a free pathway inside the circle.
They seem like that they're absolutely lying down in their chairs and then they're playing the game, because it just feels that they know every single thing that is happening all around the map. Yeah. They know which fights to pick up from. And let's be brutally honest, Shadow, that circle shift was not favoring them. If anything, they were the ones who would eventually be hit the worst in that entire rotation. Yet they found the fight against Revenant X-Park. They won the fight against them and were also converting a lot of those finishes. But the man who stole the show for God's reign and who made sure that they survived for so long was Delta.
Certainly, 5 finishes, 63% finish contribution, and I think OnePlus God's Reign could have done much better than this if all the 4 players had been alive. But that's fine. The best companion is from the side of OG, Vizgod with 2 rescues and 1 assist, and the finisher has to be Kyolama with 4 finishes and 1 assist.
Has been doing a phenomenal job out there. That one nade eventually finished off the middle, and there any hopes for getting Scout back up on his feet as well, right? He was legit thrown out of the entire map. But that's the main thing. It eventually paved way for Reckoning to try and move up, take that space. Little did they know that space was the graveyard. Eventually being taken down. But let's have a look at the OnePlus highlight moments of the previous game, ladies and gentlemen, because that's a game that we would really want to relive.
For sure, it all started with Likitha Esports going up against the players of OnePlus God's Reign, taking the IGL out, Destroy himself, and after that taking Justin also down. The only 2 players remain, and Delta shined the most in that particular fight by taking down the players of Likitha Esports. OG, well, they were on a rampage. It was True Rippers who were finally able to put a stop to their aggression, but despite that, OG did come out shining in terms of the finish points which they accumulated in this one.
And they were the ones who were making sure that regardless of the chicken dinner, if they get or not, they will be at least in the top 3, make it the top 2. 19 points for True Rippers with a chicken, 18 points for OG. I mean, Seoul were the team that were thinking that maybe we can take a late rotation, right? We can have one time in the blue. Maybe no one will be there. OG were like, nice try. Try tomorrow again. 16 finishes is absolutely bonkers. I can't even think if this team would have decided, or rather if this team would have got the chicken dinner, at what score they would have stopped. I'm expecting a 30-point bomber.
Could be possible, but we were talking about the consistency, and seems like that has been a problem for the players of Revenant X-Park. This time not getting too many points. Despite having a good position inside the circle, they were not able to defend themselves. But looking at the leaderboard, OG, my oh my, 86 points. Right on the top.
Haven't we seen the storyline somewhere, Shadow? Because this team has got almost enough finishes to the total points of the team placed on second. 53 to 54. That's higher than any other team who's anywhere below that second place, including the third position. Absolutely insane, man. This team has got more position points than the teams who are all the way down bottom as well. Hero Extreme, Godlike, 8-Bit, all of them facing so much struggle. TWOB, Mid and NINZA. I mean, if these teams don't pull their socks up tomorrow, you have to make sure that that they're probably not going to be in the run for the trophy as well. I'm pretty sure they'd have to take a little bit of a break. They'd have to take some of that breather, right? Maybe they can click the thing that's on the screen right now, and that's All Guns Blazing, ladies and gentlemen. Just like how OG have got All Guns Blazing, you can absolutely order some nice burgers out there from Swiggy only for ₹99.
You're going to order one for me, by the way.
The reason why I was looking at you was to make sure that you order some for me. You're already giving it to Necro, right? You don't mind ordering one more?
No, I'm not going to give it to you.
That's so
You
harsh,
don't deserve
man.
it.
That's so harsh. I really hope that the next thing is not that harsh out there as the TVS most wicked player. All 3 in the top 5 are OG. Wow. Bow down to the Kings right now. 16 for Aru, 14 for AKOP, and 14 for Vizgod.
I'm sure the 4th player is also somewhere in the top 10, but the 4th position most wicked player is going to be Viper from the side of Reckoning Esports. Then we also have got Trace God with 11 finishes, Lovish of FS with 10 finishes, Edmino with 9 finishes, and Joker with 9 finishes from iQOO Soul. But Joker was completely absent today.
It just felt like the entire Soul was eventually put out of the mixture as well, apart from a game or two where right, they tried to perform. Apart from that, everything else was being thrown out of the window itself. So that's one thing, but still, they were eventually slowly and steadily moving up, just like how Robin moved up onto one of the most wicked bikes out there as the TVS Raider. Don't really want to miss out with that one, right? It's got the digital display as well, and I'm pretty sure Necro mentioned how this bike was able to take him as well on his own journey, so it was super fun, but there's going to be a lot of super fun things that's going to be happening out there. We just saw a glimpse of one.
Yeah. we got the glimpse, and that's a much deserved thing we are going to witness very soon. But talking about iQOO Soul, yes, I do agree they are completely absent, but let's head over to the stage for the interview.
I mean, we'll have to go there, so before that, we've got 99 finishes on for that Swiggy, right? We were talking about that. Total number of matches 6, total number of finishes 481, and bold to 99 finishes rather have been 4. And Shadow, please take out your phone, scan that QR code. Quickly scan that QR code.
You have not been nice to me. I'm not going to give you any treat. That's for Necro.
I'm not even going to say anything. You know what? I'm just going to make sure that I focus down on the Red Bull Max takedown out there, and we'll have a look at the leaderboard yet again pretty soon. I've been talking about that, so you know what? Let's have a look at the Red Bull Max finisher leaderboard as well. It's going to be Aru yet again on top. Exact same thing out happening here. 16 finishes. At least he's going to get his glory as well, right? No one else's photo is being shown. It's only his photo that's being shown.
Yeah, Aru with 14 finishes, 16 finishes, AKOP with 14, and Vizgod also with 14 finishes.
I mean, the entire OG is absolutely having their blast right now. So why not we let Surain take over from here and talk to Aru?
है तो सिर्फ एक कैप, द रेड बुल मैक्स टेक डाउन कैप, बट इट रियली फील्स लाइक अ क्राउन जिसे बाकी सब लोग जेलस हो रहे हैं, एंड दिस टुडे गोज टू आरू. लेकिन ये कैप जो है ये रहेगी ओरंगुटान के पास ही. कल AKOP के पास थी ये कैप, अब आपने अपनी ही टीममेट को ओवरटेक कर लिया है. इज दैट अ बिटर स्वीट फीलिंग?
अच्छा, ये फ्रैग्स की वजह से होता है. ओह वाओ, ऐसे ही बस टीम में अगर हेल्दी कॉम्पिटिशन चलता रहे तो मजा आता है काफी.
अब सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट अगर बात मैं पूछूं, हमने पिछले मैच में भी देखा आप लोगों ने पॉइंट्स बहुत बटोरे. मैंने दिन की शुरुआत में ही कहा था कि ओरंगुटान एक अलग ही गेम खेल रही है, क्योंकि वो सिर्फ पॉइंट्स निकालना चाहते हैं, वो फिनिशेस देख रहे हैं. चिकन डिनर पे उतना ज्यादा शायद फोकस नहीं है, आज वो भी कर लिया है. व्हाट आर यू गाइस थिंकिंग? क्योंकि इतना अग्रेसिव बाकी शायद कोई और टीम नहीं खेल रही है.
देखो, हमारा कंपटीशन हमेशा खुद से ही होता है. हम लोग ट्राई करते हैं कि हमारे जो भी इम्परफेक्शंस है उन पे वर्क करें हम लोग, और स्टार्टिंग से टूर्नामेंट के इंटेंट दिखा के एग्रेसिवली खेलें, ताकि बाकी टीम्स को भी डर हो फाइनल्स में आके कि ओजी से तो फाइट नहीं लेनी है.
ओके, और अब दूसरा दिन भी खत्म हो चुका है. लीडर बोर्ड के बिल्कुल टॉप 5 पोजीशंस में आपकी जगह जो बनी रहेगी. कल के दिन को लेके क्या एंटिसिपेशन है?
कल का भी वही और बाकी दिनों का भी वही है कि हमको तो एग्रेसिवली खेलना है, अपनी टीम का इंटेंट दिखाना है और एक एग्जाम्पल सेट करना है कि ऐसा भी टीम्स खेल सकती हैं.
बाल इतने सिल्की हैं, टोपी पहनेगा?
पहन सकते हैं.
A very different look. Alright, that brings a close to action here on day 2 of BGMS season. 4 मिलेंगे आपसे on day 3. Until then, it's bye-bye.